Hi!
Good afternoon from beautiful Madison, Wisconsin.
Actually,
Packers are losing.
we're actually in Verona.
Like
dude.
normal.
Yep, close enough.
We're pretty much in Madison.
Dude,
We're about
okay.
as much as Waukesha as Milwaukee.
Okay, if you were going to fly
fair.
here, you would fly into the Madison airport. Therefore, this is Madison.
Is that in
That's
Verona?
how it works.
Whatever.
Yeah. Well,
So is the entirety of Illinois named Midway?
Or you would fly into one of the Chicago airports.
we
They
can
got-
fly
Or
to Rockford.
Northeastern. Rockford has an airport, so if you
Yeah.
flew into Rockford Airport, you'd be in Rockford.
But how far out of Chicago do you have to be where you stop calling it Chicago?
Oh, I'm pretty sure somewhere in the Pacific.
Unless you're from Chicago, and then you're not talking about Chicago, you're talking about the suburbs.
These
Yeah.
rules also don't apply if you're
Oh.
in the area and talking to somebody else in the area, but I assume there are people that are listening to this that we don't know in person. So, we're close.
Nobody
enough.
listens.
There was this girl I went to college with, and she's telling me about how she grew up.
Listens to this podcast?
No, she doesn't.
You don't know that.
Okay, if you're listening to this
stalking you
college,
still.
if you're listening to this podcast, I'm going to out you as being from Milwaukee, not from Chicago, Sarah. But she said she was from Chicago. She was from the Milwaukee suburbs. Like,
That sounds like a threat.
Like now,
we're
when you say,
seeing?
is it at least like Schaumburg level, like south suburbs where it's towards Chicago, or was she from like Brookfield?
I think she was almost like from Waukesha area.
So this brings up another thing. If we have any listeners who are cyber stalking Jake, please say something on the chat line while we're here.
And if you are cyber stalking me,
We're
I have
sorry.
rent to sell, so just let me know.
You're selling your fucking rent already?
I don't care. I got the money from
I'm
it,
still selling my rent.
No.
Like, I haven't not succeeded in selling my rent.
and I'm Dan.
Welcome to Crippled System episode 213. My name is Andy, and I play a whole shit ton of Guild Ball and Kador.
Sorry, I'm parsing 213. I'm factorizing, not factorizing. What's the word?
You're trying to figure out if
No, but there's a
213 is
word.
prime.
There's a
Foil?
word. No.
Determining the
No.
prime factorization.
Yeah, but factorizing, is that a word then?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I
an
accidentally
acceptable
said a word that existed.
Factoring is more
Yeah.
correct.
Okay, there we go. Factoring is the word I meant, not factorizing. My name's Nathan, and I can't tell whether 213 is prime or not because fuck thought.
I'm Dan.
I'm Jake. I play Grimkin poorly.
It's true.
And I'm Dave, and I'm not sure what I play right now. Maybe it's Kador. Maybe
No!
it's Brett.
God damn it!
We already
I switched
yes.
to Kador because nobody else is playing Kador in this area. And then I started playing Kador, and then Dave's like, I'm going to get all the Kador now.
Okay, okay, because of Andy's response, yes, I officially play Kador.
Oh, I'm going to stab somebody!
When Eco comes out, maybe I'll try Convergence again.
The Dolphin?
But no promises. No, that's Echo.
No, I
Ico,
always
Ico?
call them Eco.
It's ECHO. That's pronounced Echo.
ECO was his
ECO?
name. Yeah.
No, he was
It
Echo.
was ECCO,
No,
I
it's
thought.
E.
Oh, ECCO. Yeah, two C's. But he
No,
used
no, no.
echolocation to navigate. You're
This is getting weird.
Echo the Dolphin.
I don't know what that is.
Dude,
There's a
Eco is the
dolphin.
dolphin.
Getting. That's the wrong verb.
It's Eco.
Echo.
Eco.
He used. I remember
Eco,
commercials,
Eco,
and I think the
Eco.
commercials called
Was
him
this like
Echo.
Free Willy?
No, it was for the Sega, the Saturn and the Dreamcast, whatever.
Genesis
It
era.
was a
yes.
Genesis era.
But it was a dolphin, and
It
you'd
is
swim around.
ECCO, yes.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
find a commercial on YouTube so we can hear how it's pronounced. I guarantee it's
No,
Echo.
Eco. Eco.
Yeah, but is it
Eco,
like? Do you have to like
Eco.
trail it off like you're doing? Eco. You can't just
La.
say eco.
Yeah.
Ecola.
You play
Well,
the you play the
Big horn.
no, you play the parasite.
The
that
Alphorn.
you have to go through all the systems. You know, first you're in the cow. Then
Oh,
you're
that's
in
E.
the booth.
coli.
Yeah, E. coli.
Okay.
Yeah. That would be an interesting game. Speaking of video games,
Oh
Nathan, I
yeah,
got
obviously 71 times 3. Duh.
Jeez.
Jesus.
Nathan, speaking of video games, I got you a gift.
No.
I did.
Somebody. Speaking of video games, Matthew Compton got me a gift. He bought me Dead Cells.
That sells.
I played a whole bunch of Dead Cells. I previously recommended it, but he gave it to me, and then I played a bunch, which is good timing because I just bought a controller to maybe call Chris Fuchs. Fucht?
Chris
Foyt? I don't know how you pronounce Feucht.
Foyt.
He's got a dumb name.
No,
Foyt?
it's a very German name. It's Foyt.
Chris Foyt said that he almost bought me that one game that you play, but for PC, Destiny 2. He was
Destiny
going to buy it for the PC after our debate about keyboard and mouse versus controller. So I bought a controller in case he did it. I could play it on my computer with a controller.
Dan actually has he sent me a link that I forgot to put up on the Crippled System thing about controller.
Yes, it's more for Brian than for you, but since Brian was complaining about how controllers feel like bananas, I found a link of someone who rewired 21 bananas to act as a PS4 controller
That's amazing.
and was playing Destiny on the 21 bananas.
I saw a guy. It wasn't
How did
Destiny.
you even do that?
I've actually taken apart a controller and rewired it to other controls before. So yeah, we could do something like that. It would be fun.
But a banana?
Nathan, I got you a gift.
All you need is something that can close the circuit.
Why would we stop with
And
the
he got
banana?
me a gift. Oh, he got me a black mage magnet. He's very magnetic, so he's going to stay there for now because I'm terrified about pulling on it harder. I'm going to look up. I can't remember what game it was, but there's a guy who has the Guinness Book of World Records for beating a certain game the most number of times, or I'm sorry, with the most number of different control methods. Because like he rigged up just a microphone and he would talk to it at like different volumes, or he did the Donkey Kong Congo bongos.
I think this might be the same guy.
I don't know if he did bananas then, but yeah.
Because this guy was talking about how he figured out how to do the bananas after rewiring his Donkey Kong Bongos controller to work with a PS4. So,
I had a ridiculously awesome adapter that I could take my PS2 controllers and play them on my GameCube.
It was Dark Souls.
Did he beat Dark Souls?
He
with
beat
a-
Dark Souls with a guitar, with the every individual instrument from Rock Band, which includes drum kit, guitar, microphone. He beat Dark Souls. Fucking get good Dark Souls using these as inputs. The Donkey Kong bongos, perhaps bananas if it's the same guy. Yeah.
At that
Wow.
At that
The
point,
Power Glove. Oh no, here it is. Future projects include a bunch of bananas.
At that point, you should just take up actual self-flagellation. Because,
Yeah.
I mean, you're 99% of the way there.
The point is, he's beating Dark Souls with this shit, so people who can't beat Dark Souls with a controller really do need to get good.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's using bananas.
so all of us.
I never understood the people giving
I'd
up
beat
on
Dark
Dark
Souls.
I never understood people giving up on Dark Souls because it's really hard for like the first
Yeah.
2 hours, and then you make a little bit of headway, and it feels really good to like actually accomplish things, and then you get knocked back down, then you go back through it again, and it's fun that
And
way.
then you can always just drop your sign on the ground and wait until somebody good comes out and beats the boss. For
Yeah.
you, and yeah, it works.
Also, there's no repercussions to death. You have
Well, past a point.
Well, it's just time.
Yeah, it's just time.
Yeah.
Like, you have, sure, I died, I lost my XP because I wasn't at a bonfire. Okay, so just grind some more.
Yeah.
Like, you have infinite experience available to you. You'll beat the game eventually.
Yeah.
Yeah, go. Just
Yeah.
keep on.
We are keep on. Nobody was waiting for you.
I
Yeah,
thought somebody was looking at
No,
what I was
you
saying.
think...
No, there was
not all about you,
somebody who
Andy.
posted a Dark Souls cosplay. That's not going to work.
Yeah, well,
No, it's not. Don't
see,
break.
that's what I wanted to happen.
Very good.
The Lady Elena cosplay from Comic-Con was the greatest cosplay, by the way.
Well, no, there was a Dark Souls cosplay, and all the person did was just he would walk up to people, challenge them to a battle, and then immediately start rolling around.
There were many great videos of people just looking at him like, what?
Did you see the Lady Elena cosplay, though?
No, I didn't.
The Queen of Thorns from Game of Thrones, the old lady,
I don't know her. I don't know.
the Tyrells,
Yes.
the grandma, the badass old
Yes.
lady.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh yeah. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, the old gal. Yes.
Yes, there was cosplay of her wearing the Deal With It glasses from like the
Correct.
memes and saying like I did it with a little sign and whatever. It was great.
Yes, I have seen that. Yes.
If you're a little old lady in a wheelchair, that's a good choice for cosplay. That or crossplay Professional X. There were elves in my Professor for no good reason. Professor.
Oh, I just realized that my warrior is blocking the view of your mage.
That's fine. He's tanking. He's
Yeah.
tanking. That's his job.
Yeah.
He's blocking LOS.
So this is how I beat Final Fantasy 1 is I brought a black mage with me to cast haste onto my warrior before he died, and
Sure.
then my warrior had either some kind of healing mace or something on him with attack
Just
times
smack and heal
10,
himself, sure,
and that's
yeah.
how I killed off. Was it Chaos? Or
Yes, Chaos,
was the
yeah.
final boss. Yeah, and that's how I beat Chaos. It was a lot of him adventuring off on his own, and then me resing the party, and then the rest of the party dying.
Yeah.
and then him just wandering off by himself, killing everything.
But did you beat the war mech?
I don't remember. That was a
You just gotta walk back and forth on the bridge until Warmech shows up. I would.
Actually, the first time I played that game, I
got the one.
I got the Warmech unintentionally, and it was like, oh my god, how do I beat this? And I went back and I had to level up so I could beat the Warmech.
And then he didn't show up the next
time.
time.
Show up. Then I walked in and I like one shot or a 2-shot chaos, and I was like, wait, something's weird.
I'm over leveled.
Yeah.
I would intentionally have Rydia turn the rest of my party into frogs and then just solo the moon. Because she's awesome. Spoiler, you go to the moon.
Okay. I'm still working through Final Fantasy IV right now.
That's the one. Never mind.
Is that rather good?
That literally is Final Fantasy IV.
Yeah.
Well, hey, here I am being unintentional again.
Was that
How far into Final Fantasy IV are you?
Not very far.
Not very far. No.
Have you done anything?
Nope.
You haven't even left the first town?
I haven't gotten to the first town.
So have you watched the
you have
opening
turned-
credits?
so you
No,
have
I
turned-
left the
oh.
castle. That's
So you've
what
had
you mean?
not even a battle,
Oh,
nothing.
no, there was a battle at the beginning to prove that Cecil is awesome.
Okay,
Cecil?
It's Cecil.
it's like Cecil Fielder.
No.
Yeah.
Beat the Mills.
Oh,
That's Cecil.
It is Cecil Peter Mills.
That one's Cecil. Fielder
Yeah.
is Cecil.
Yeah, you ready for your close-up?
Cecil Cooper.
Dylan
was,
pronounced it Cecil.
Second
Who did?
baseman for the Brewers, I think. I think it was second baseman. Where's the
Prince Fielder?
Prince Fielder was the first
Cecil
baseman.
Fielder?
Cecil Cooper?
Cecil Fielder.
DB Cooper?
DB Cooper. Yeah. Versus Bigfoot.
Wait, DB Cooper is Bigfoot?
Yeah.
No, that you
Might as well be.
watch Red Letter Media. One of the not half of the bag. I'm sorry. One of the best, the worst videos they watched was DB Cooper versus Bigfoot,
Oh,
and it's just a thinly veiled. The director is obviously a homosexual.
Sure.
Nothing wrong with that. But it's the blatant sleazy, the guys who do movies and just remember how Michael Bay made Megan Fox wash his car for her audition for Transformers because
Sure.
all he wanted to do was point a camera at her and masturbate? This guy's movies are all just 7 20-year-old dudes not wearing shirts for an hour and a half, and then he slaps Bigfoot on the cover and releases it in a movie. It's amazingly shameless.
This is like Sub-Asylum.
Yeah, it is some asylum. It's literally he just goes on Craigslist, gets a bunch of hot guys to walk around shirtless for an hour, and then adds DB Cooper and Bigfoot fighting at the end, and releases it direct to DVD. It's kind of magical.
That is kind of magical.
Is that a recent one? Because
It's a half dozen episodes back.
A lot of Best of the Worst.
It's a half dozen episodes back. It's got a guest on it. It's got I don't remember who's on it, but whatever. Yeah, DB Cooper versus Bigfoot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't think of their guests right now, but they usually have what's his name from that did the movie Max Landis.
Sure, yeah.
They usually have Max Landis on there.
Yeah. I don't like Matt Landis.
You don't like Max Landis?
He's all right. Was Cecil Fielder the one who tried to kill the Queen? That was Cecil Fielder, right?
No.
In
not,
Naked Gun?
Not Naked Gun.
Who
no.
tried to kill the Queen?
No, that was
OJ?
Daryl Strawberry. No.
It wasn't Daryl Strawberry. Daryl Strawberry is a really skinny guy.
Reggie
Jackson?
Jackson, yes, it was Reggie Jackson
yes.
tried to kill the Queen.
I must kill
the Queen.
It's you know how fucking
It's Enrique
scary-
Palazzo. It's my favorite joke in the history of cinema by far. It's such an amazingly brilliant callback to such a pointless joke.
When I first watched Naked Gun, it was super weird seeing O.J. Simpson as not like what he is now.
A serial killer?
Yeah.
Or a mass murderer, sorry.
I have no memory of him as anything other than this
Evil mass murderer.
Yeah, as being O.J. Simpson, right?
Yes, he is the direct responsibility for why we know the Kardashians.
It's just
Yes.
it is crazy seeing him being just this lighthearted, fun cop guy. It's just super
It
weird.
was really sad when
Yeah.
he decided to murder people.
Yeah, I mean he was a decent actor. I mean his stuff that was in there and
For an
other
athlete
shows
turned
were
actor,
decent.
yeah.
Yeah.
He was great in that Hertz commercial.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, that's all I remember him being in is a Hertz
You know what's
commercial.
really weird is how
And the Naked
how
Gun.
Well, and
old
Naked
that
Gun, yes.
movie is, and the Queen is still relevant.
Yeah,
To this
that
day.
specific Queen.
That specific Queen. It's not like a different Queen, but it's it's the same Queen.
I think she's hanging on just to spite
Charles.
Charles, yeah.
Well,
No! I'm gonna rule forever!
You're talking like old
Isn't she
school
the
Monty
longest
Python?
longest serving British monarch and like
Yep.
in the top 5 longest serving monarchs ever?
Yes.
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 Yeah.
Yeah.
She passed Queen Victoria
Last year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was like last year.
I'd say, and like 3 of the people ahead of her were like child royalty too. So
Right.
Yeah.
she actually started when she was 21, and she's still almost caught up to them.
Yeah.
She's gonna get there.
Yep.
And she's still awesome.
Yeah.
She'll just show up to like random weddings because she's the queen. What are you gonna do? Like that's amazing. Like if I was a queen, I'd do that shit.
She's like, I was bored today. I'm gonna go to a wedding.
Like
What
people
are
keep
you
on
gonna do
like
if the queen crashes your wedding?
or the people like jokingly invite her, and then she'll be like, "Yeah, let's go." And then she doesn't tell them. She just shows up.
Like, the queen's here. We don't know what to do.
Speaking of kings and queens, I got to see the king this weekend.
LeBron James.
Elvis.
No. Stan Lee.
Oh yeah.
I went to Comic-Con. I got to see Stan Lee and a couple other things, walked around.
And that
then
wrestler
left.
lady.
Yeah, I saw Becky Lynch.
Becky Lynch. That's
Yeah,
right.
she was actually the first thing I saw when I got there.
She's a person, not a thing, man.
Panel that I saw when I got there was her panel. Because when I went there, it was like about 12 o'clock, and it was like her panel started at 12 o'clock. Spoiler, it didn't start at 12 o'clock. As in
What?
all the
What?
panels did not start at when they were supposed to
A
start.
large event didn't manage to hold itself on time.
Yeah, it was like a good 15 minutes.
This is unbelievable.
So the worst part about going to go see Stan Lee is I got into the place there early. The place was held in the arena outside of the Alliant Energy Center, and the arena on the outside is really for like horses and stuff, where you parade around horses there. So it was like 95 in that building.
Jesus.
So you figure if you're going to bring somebody like as old and frail as Stan Lee into a building,
Someone who is 95
Yeah.
shouldn't be 95.
shouldn't be in that type of buildings because we were dying in there.
Yeah, but don't like old people like catch cold a lot? Like maybe the temperature is good for them.
Not that much temperature.
Probably not that much.
It's like
temperature,
mummies need it to be dry and hot so that they don't like decay.
except for it's like the humidity is so high anyway, so
Sure.
you're not going to dry. You'll just decay.
He's like a
That's
cigar.
Wisconsinites complaining about humidity. It's great.
Hey, when it does get 100% here, it
Hey,
sucks.
hey, I've been to Houston in August, okay? So I know how bad it can get. That doesn't mean it's not humid in 90.
I mean,
I've
Houston
been
in
down
July?
in Florida
Oh, yeah.
in May. And that sucks.
Yes.
Funniest thing about Houston in August is watching tourists foolishly try to use the water fountain to drink.
Oh,
Because that is a rookie mistake. 'Cause that water comes out like 130 degrees, Jake.
Holy crap.
Like, you are not helping yourself.
Oh my God.
no matter how long you run it, it's just going to stay warm.
Yeah, it's like, ow, like, I'm itchy. I better just, like, rub my face against knives is what you're doing. Like, you're not solving the problem.
That sucks.
Yeah, don't drink from the bubbler in Houston in August.
They don't have bubblers in Houston.
Sure, they do.
have water fountains.
They can call them whatever they want to call them. That doesn't mean they're not bubblers.
They're called bubblers.
No, they're not.
I
They
will
don't-
accept drinking fountain, but not water fountain. A water fountain is a decorative thing that you have out front of a
You
building.
throw money
I mean,
into
but
it.
in fairness, in Houston, they are decorative
And once
things.
in a
You
while-
It's true. You should not use them for decoration only, like plastic fruit. You
Yeah.
could eat it if you wanted to, but you shouldn't.
yeah,
It's just not a bubbler.
water fountains
it
are
is.
made for money and for peeing when you're drunk.
Yeah.
There are a lot of other
Or
weird
to
and
watch
interesting
your baby.
things in Houston. Like last time I was there, I went to a game shop and they had a picture of Will Pagani on the shelves.
Ugh. That's almost as bad as a Texas game store actually having Will Pagani there.
If I owned a game store, I would have the one picture of Will that his face is like that. But I would then put that on my bubbler with the water coming out of his mouth.
Yes. How come they don't have like little boy peeing bubblers like they do for the gargoyles on buildings?
Oh, that's such a great movie. I love the
Gargoyles.
Money Pit.
Oh, okay. Where did that come from? Let's draw a diagram here.
No, because while his house is being renovated, all right, I have a pretty good reason for this. Anybody who knows the Money Pit knows this thing too. Damn it.
Was that a sentence?
Yes, it was.
Not a sentence.
That was a sentence.
No, it wasn't.
Everyone knows the Money Pit knows this thing too. Tom Hanks had to go down to the little water fountain that was down in their backyard that had a little boy peeing, and that's how they had to get water for their house.
Okay.
Okay. We'll take your word for it.
Yeah.
Have you not seen The Money Pit?
I have, but
I have.
it was over 20 years ago.
You
and
need to watch it again.
I-
It's part of the classic 80s Tom Hanks amazing films.
It's one of those
remember him being
underappreciated ones like The
trapped-
Burbs.
I just only remember him trapped in the floor like in a rug.
Yes.
That's,
That's the
that's
great-
all that happens in that movie, as far as I know.
There's that PlayStation 4 VR commercial that has something similar to that, where it's like somebody's sinking in there immersive to be like an immersive situation.
Yeah.
I want to have a hard cut from that going straight to Tom Hanks and Money Pit with him like throwing money like with like little paper airplanes out of the money that he has in his hand.
Hmm?
Yeah. Money Pit is awesome.
Is it better than The Burbs?
No.
Is it better than Bosom Buddies?
Oh yes.
Is it better than Joe versus Volcano?
Yes.
No. I love Joe
No,
vs. Volcano.
okay. If we're jumping around here, so we went from Money Pit is not better than The Burbs. So my new top is The Burbs. We'll
Okay,
go with that.
all right.
And Burbs is most definitely better than Joe versus Volcano.
Okay.
The speech
Is
at-
Money Pit better than Joe versus Volcano?
Yes.
Strong disagree. I love Joe vs. Volcano.
Joe vs. Volcano has an amazing sequence when he quits his job at the very beginning, when he's talking about how the fluorescent lights are sucking the life out of everyone there. That speech there is amazing. The rest of the movie is kind of...
He fights a volcano.
Ah.
Like in hand-to-hand combat, right?
This is
I've never
Walter!
seen it. I've always seen the cover.
Yep, that's exactly what happens at the end. It's pretty great.
Nathan, this is Walter.
Walter Sobchak? That's not a... He's not in that movie.
No, but he's in The Burbs.
Walter Sobchak is in The Burbs?
No, not Walter Sobchak. No.
Oh, okay. Is it nothing but trouble? There's your deep cut fucking movie.
wow.
God.
That's not
That
Tom
movie
Hanks,
is
That's
though.
not Tom Hanks, though. That's
That
Chevy
is-
Chase and Dan Aykroyd.
That's
and
one of the worst movies ever
cocaine.
made.
But so my parents once
And
picked it up.
Humpty
Going,
Hump. Humpty Hump is in that movie.
And John McCain. John McCain. John Candy is terrifying in that movie.
So,
My parents
it's
once-
about a small town, Kentucky.
yeah, it's Pennsylvania.
Is it Pennsylvania?
Yeah.
It's
It's about
Pennsylvania.
Dan's parents,
Well,
apparently.
so
I'm
my parents once picked that up, going, "This movie has a lot of good actors and actresses in it. It has to be good." And we watched it all,
Yeah.
and it was terrible.
Yes.
I've watched it multiple times.
Why?
Because it's
too.
hypnotic.
It gets better. We then White Elephant gifted it to someone, and then got it back.
Like it's so inscrutable that like I've watched it again. Be like why are there mutants in there? Like what are those two twin Tweedledum monsters? And why do they have a roller coaster? And
I did that.
We spent the entire second half of the movie going, "Why aren't we turning this off?"
I did that rewatching it repeatedly, even if it's terrible, with Neo Yokyo recently, which is the craziest thing I've
Neo
ever.
Yokyo?
Oh,
It is Jaden Smith's new anime.
It's not Neo Tokyo.
It's Neo Yokyo because like New York and Tokyo are like one city in this world, but they drive to New Jersey.
work?
It's really weird. It's a Jaden Smith
Wait, hold
anime.
on,
Hold on, it's a
hold on.
Jaden Smith anime where he says,
Geography.
"Hold on." It's a Jaden Smith anime where he says, "I don't care what time it is. The future is in a terminal abyss of total whackness." Like the show makes no sense.
How do you join New York and Tokyo?
But then still
Yeah.
keep New Jersey.
Well,
Yeah, they
I
still
don't
have
even
New
need New Jersey. I don't know how many. I don't know if you could name two big cities that are further apart than New York and Tokyo. They might literally be opposite sides of the planet.
Delhi's further from New York
Yeah, London and
But-
Sydney.
Sure,
and Sydney as well.
but it's pretty damn close to
Melbourne.
like hemisphere-wise. Like obviously, you're
Still,
tilting down northern to southern as well. But just going east versus west,
Shanghai.
there.
Okay, Seoul, fine. We can keep doing this.
Okay, what's on the other side from Moscow? Now pick Chicago and tell me what's on the other side of the planet from there. Otherwise, I had a fucking point that was understandable that we were driving to. I don't want you to name two random cities for the next hour and a half. The fucking point is,
But our ratings
very
will go
few
up.
of those possible city pairings will be further
Yeah.
apart than New York and Tokyo, which is
Yes.
the one pairing that is at the center of a plotline of a Jaden Smith anime. How do those cities merge, given that they are, albeit not as far apart as whatever the fuck you said, are
Yeah.
far apart?
Jake.
Regardless of that,
No, regardless. Hold up. I want to know the logistics.
There's a couple more points that need to be made
No.
for you to fully understand. this.
You
It-
can make those points after. I want to know specifically how you get Tokyo and New York to merge.
Weebelows.
Let's go ahead and just check Jaden Smith's Twitter account, and we can see what the most sane thing we find is, and it's probably buried.
May the
deep within
record show that the
group.
defendant is deflecting and refusing to answer the question.
I don't know. Maybe they don't even talk about.
You watched it multiple times.
I did. It makes no sense.
You have told me. You said that you've watched it multiple times.
Arctic Circle is correct. He writes because it's of the Smith factor, and it is entirely because Jaden Smith is involved in this. It makes no sense.
Don't break it. I know you really want to hurt
break
me.
it.
No, I know you want to hurt Jake, but don't break that.
No.
Also, not including Nick. Yes, it does exist on DVD. That's how I watched it.
Jaden Smith's robot butler is played by Jude Law, and Steve Buscemi is in the anime. The whole thing is
As
insane.
himself?
Wait, he's a
Basically.
self-insert. He's a self-insert in his own anime.
Steve Buscemi?
No, Jaden Smith.
He basically is just Jaden Smith.
Does he wear the white Batman outfit?
Unfortunately, no. But I hope they bring that into season 2.
Oh, it's a series?
It's a series.
Oh.
Yeah, 6 episodes. First season dropped Friday, and I've watched it twice now.
Why? There's so
Because
much
it
better-
makes no sense. It's
Maybe
like-
you're just bad at watching stuff because you don't even know how the central premise of the show
It's not
came
the
to
central
be.
premise of the show. He is a magistocratic
It's the
exorcist, and it's his
eponymous.
sacred duty, you jackass.
Magistocratic.
Magistocratic exorcist.
Magistocratic. Okay.
Exorcist. He fights demons
Now we know why
that take control
you
of
like
Chanel
Mulholland
suits. May Coco Chanel's name be blessed. These are all direct quotes from the show.
But how do the cities merge? Like, where is the city? So the city's in New York, obviously, because
Yeah.
they drove to New Jersey. So
And the Hamptons.
did Tokyo just blow up and so everybody moved to New York? Or did they, like...
It's kind of like...
Did they, like, carve out the city and transport it on boats?
I think, again, nothing's really clear in this. I think it's kind of like Big Hero 6, which just like Tokyo and San Francisco became one city over time. I think they picked up Tokyo, just put it in North America. As far as I can tell, most of New York City's underwater, and there's underwater townhouses. They're all quite lovely.
But is most of New York underwater or is most of Tokyo underwater?
I think it's mostly the New York stuff. There's a lot of...
So Tokyo,
there's
the
just a lot of-
island, is floating above underwater New York, and that's Neo-Yokyo?
As far as I can tell, there's just a bunch of cherry blossom trees, and that's all they brought over.
Japan is just a boat now. They just drive it around the world, and they just actually ran it into New York.
It's on Netflix.
Okay, that makes sense then. That makes
That
sense.
is the most likely explanation we've come up with so far.
That Japan is a boat. I don't know.
The show is really terrible, but it's also like hypnotically
say.
bad.
Yesterday, somebody told me that America has a bunch of subs underneath North Korea just waiting to sink it. And I tried to explain the geography of that and the geology of that. And they were like, no, the boats are just under North
Have
Korea
you-
just waiting to
Hold
sink
on.
it.
Have you seen the core?
Yeah, that's a documentary.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
exactly what's going to happen to North Korea
When we sink it
when we sink it.
with our boats that are under it.
Yeah, with those cool drill things, drill machine boat things.
Okay.
Yeah, it'll be fine.
Sorry.
Yeah, somebody should. Wait,
Congratulations, Germany! Deutschland, Uber alles. 50% of me is very proud.
I got
They
some
almost
German.
clean sweeped it.
I was going to say this is Wisconsin. We're all German here.
Or Norwegian.
Norwegian. Yeah. Well, you're not.
You're
from
not a
Wisconsin.
Wisconsinite, you fucking interloper.
Neither is him.
Neither
That's
is
not a-
him.
Wait,
I'm not even going to bother correcting that one.
Jake, what's your degree in?
English literature, not English composition.
That's why he talks like Chaucer. That's Jake's problem, is that he thinks in Old English.
That's why I'm going to send Michigan State another letter complaining about the quality.
Y'all fucked up.
But yeah, Germany won Guild Ball team, they won WTC team, and they almost won WTC solos.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't-
They came in second for the solos.
All right, so let's
Somebody
see.
got all the stats in that
Your
because
lists
that
look like-
happened earlier today. Is when everything ended.
Yeah.
About 6 hours earlier.
Ish.
I don't know if you guys had a chance to watch the stream of it, but they did a great job. They really did. Like every,
Yeah, they had a couple of the Muse guys doing. I saw that.
Well,
they
only
had
one.
only one by the end of it.
Oh, it really? Oh,
Both John and Keith were playing.
Yeah.
I forgot about that. Yeah.
Josh did a great job, though. Everyone involved did a great job, and
I like the shots, all the standstill shots that I've seen of Josh Maxim. Just like his just.
By the way, the Packers are in overtime. That's stressful.
so they get to over. Hey, they were down 7-21, so
No, they got.
I told
they're
Raylene, I'm like,
14-21.
hey,
but they were down 7.
they were well. Part of being down 21-17 is at some point in time you were probably down 14 or 21-7. But
Yeah.
the point is, yes, they were down 14-7. That did not preclude being down 21-7. God, fuck you.
It's really stressful when that happens because Aaron Rodgers is on my opponent's fantasy football team this week, so I've been having a hard time just rooting for
He's on
them.
my team.
It was just exciting when Aaron Rodgers threw that touchdown pass. It was just to the wrong team.
Oh, I win at my game. Yay!
But anyway, yeah, so good job, Germany. Congratulations for kicking ass and taking names. We like it when you do it in games as opposed to in world wars.
Ooh.
Did Germany play Poland this year?
No, but
They weren't expecting to, but Poland just at a table and Germany just slammed down a guild ball match and beat them.
no, but they did roll into Belgium and just take it over.
Yeah. And they did play France and beat them.
You guys.
Well, France had set up at one table. Like, France was here, and they had a really good game going, and then Germany just played at the table over there and won. That's a marginal line bypassing reference.
So, somebody was trying to get John traded to the French team
Yeah.
before the event started because he was filling in for one of the Irish teams.
I mean, and that was Karen who was, I think, trying to get him traded off of his own team to the French team.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Oh, golly.
I'm looking at these the German lists, and some of them make sense. Like their rep player took Vyros 2 Griffin Spam and Assyria Shadows, and fairly standard lists for those. And then we see things like Siege.
Yeah, dude, Siege is a baller.
Okay,
Which Siege?
Siege.
Siege 1, because
Siege
Siege 2
1,
is
Siege
not
2
out yet.
isn't legal.
Okay,
Also remember that Siege 2 is unplayable garbage and does nothing for his army, according to you.
he does do nothing for his army except for the
Okay.
handful of things he does
That
for his
was
army.
recorded on 820.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, we'll
With
say
all
that.
of us in attendance.
That's right there up with Kane 3 as a 40% win rate caster. He said to someone who, at the time of saying that, was 9-0, I think, with that caster.
Yeah,
We're going to
but
do
eventually
this.
I was just going to run into someone I couldn't kill. I knew it was going to happen.
And you'd play against them 27 times to make your math right.
No.
We're going to set up a
won most of those, too.
soundboard for the podcast now of nothing but Jake quotes followed by sad trombone.
Bum, 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 bum.
That would take way too long.
By the way, that's a muted trumpet, not a trombone. The trombone's just...
Okay, well, I don't care about the brass
Way to
section.
misidentify your brass.
I don't care about the brass section.
It's like one of the top 3 sections of the symphony.
String section or bust.
Overrated.
Percussion.
Yep.
Boo.
Percussion and brass are... Fuck you! Boom, boom, bow!
I'm not gonna get into a discussion about who's just creating pace. It's fine.
You know, I want that as a T-shirt.
D, fuck you, boom, boom, brah.
So anyway, the circle player played Tanith and Una 2.
Yep.
I keep playing footsie with Dan because his foot is everywhere.
At least it's not the foot with the dislocated toe.
Yeah, I
Doesn't
kicked
matter
that
to
twice
me.
now.
That's Jake who keeps kicking that foot.
My bad.
Xerxes 2, all of the Archidons,
Yay.
and Rashith 1 with a Winds of Death list.
Sure.
And the Signar player was
What was
Siege
the one?
1 and
Oh, yeah, I
Haley
was gonna say
3.
what was
Seed
the
one
Sage.
is like really good into very specific matchups. I don't like him in just a solo.
Are those
event.
matchups things that you wouldn't play Kane 3 against?
Well, we can't really look at this either because everyone's choosing the matchups then after this.
Yeah.
I mean, lists are lists, but they're all. It's under a.
Well, that's why I was asking about
artificial
the
tournament.
Siege one compared to, that's what you have to look at. It's like, well, Siege only beats 3 things in the world, and if those are the only 3 things that Kane
That got
loses
fed
against,
to him.
that's the whole point, and that are fed to him, yeah. Like, you can bring Kryptonite,
Yeah.
and Kryptonite does dick all to anybody except Superman,
Yeah.
right? Or his cousins in Kryptonite, whatever, fuck you. The point is, yes.
Yeah. No, I like Siege into Ghost Fleet just because he has RFP
And magic weapons.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, it's Explosivo is a really good spell for him to have. I don't like him into a lot of other lists, and no one replaces the love in my heart that Kane 3 has.
By the way, how hilarious is Privateer Press? Like, Cricks, infantry spam, bring your guns, fight against Cricks, bring your guns, fight against Cricks.
Yeah, that was
By
hilarious.
the way, ha ha ha.
That was the funniest fucking thing that's ever happened.
Cricks immune to guns.
So Jake, how have your multiple experiences against Black Fleet
What?
or Black Industries been?
The first one was really bad.
New theme force.
I did not pay attention. to this.
It's not their newest. Their newest is a garbage Black Ogren thing. But their second newest, the one that's in CD, it's a month. You get free lights, which is great.
Sure.
And your heavies all get carapace.
Fuck that.
Oh, yeah, no.
La la.
Yeah.
Trollolo. Bunch of heavy warjacks with +4 armor against shooting.
Yeah,
Thanks for your Cricks drop, bitch.
But
At least then.
there's been one thing that's beaten that so far, and that's been Mosar.
the Moby Crix Jacks, though. I
No,
mean,
sir.
like generally
Telemark.
Crix Jacks are 17, 18 armor.
He had no
Now they're
chance otherwise.
1722.
Yeah, that's
Or
fine.
not 17, 22. 18 goes to 22.
Yeah.
Or 23.
22, scrub. I got one up to 25.
Yeah.
Death Jack. But fail safe on it. It's
Oh,
25
sure.
against shooting.
What, his default is 18?
19.
He is 19, like the Crabjacks?
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
the Crabjacks are 18.
They're not 18? I
Yeah,
thought they were 19.
most of them are like
Most
17,
are
18
17,
for
they
Crix
start at
Jacks.
17, Crabs are 18, Death Jack's 19, Inflictors are 19 with the shield.
Armor 25,
So
Death Jack
they
running
just
around.
all have
Good
it. You
time.
don't have to have like any.
All
other...
your heavies
All
have
heavies
carapace.
gain Carapace.
But not the Kraken.
Yeah,
He's not a heavy.
No
I
colossal.
know.
Colossal
So like a
sensitive,
lot of people
like-
think that it affects the Kraken because
Well, those
they
people are
haven't.
dumb and can't read English words.
No kidding. Where's this new Crix theme? It's going to be on Privateer Press's
It's in CID
Insider.
right now.
No, it's
No, it's not
gone.
yet.
CID,
It's gone.
and it is live on conflictchambers.com as well.
Go to the Insider that is last put up, and then click the little Insider thing. I think it's the one previous to the current one. The current one is about living pirates
Ogren.
and Crix.
Yeah,
and
Ogren's Black Ogren.
Yeah, the current
That
yeah,
one won't make sense until more stuff is released.
Yeah,
Right.
I mean
Yeah.
that was I was looking at. It's like,
right.
oh, this is kind of cool because I bet Gatsby 3 has played into this, and then I tried to put together a list, and it's like, no, there's
Until more
nothing
solos
here.
get released, that list is impossible.
Because
to
right
build.
now you just have Gerlach and then the 2 units of Ogren.
And Iacos are pretty much
Iacos,
everything.
yeah.
So every list I've written has been 6 points short.
Is it the living? So
It's living pirates.
Living pirates that are not Satixis.
Right,
Yeah.
so it's Ogren.
Oh, okay, yeah. So
Yeah.
yeah,
It's the Black Ogren,
yeah.
it's the
And-
Blood
and-
Gorgers, and then
I don't know if they
Icos
originally
and
intended
Sodom.
on it, but they realized that if they put Satixis and Living Pirates into the same theme force, it would just be Satixis anyways. So
Yeah.
they split it so that there would be a reason to take all the new shard fleets.
Well, especially because one of the theme benefits there is is you get gang friendly faction warrior to your entire battle group.
yeah, it's Gang Fighter. It's
And-
Helga's
yeah.
Field Marshal.
Yeah,
Are-
and gang if you have Satixis is ridiculously good.
Those,
Well, yeah, 'cause they
are
have
the
so
what's,
many- they have so
what's
many
their
basic
faces dead? The guys that come back all the times?
Revenant Crew.
Revenant Crew.
No, the trio, the guy and the his
Yeah, Devil
ladies.
Shadow. They
They
are
are
explicitly
in
an
it as well.
and a friendly faction unit.
Oh,
into
so
that. Yeah.
They are allowed.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
and they're considered Crix.
They're considered Crix.
Yeah, okay. I knew.
Yeah,
So
Devil
that's
Shadow.
another. See,
Yeah.
there's a little
Which
smattering,
which
but as
means
more
your-
stuff comes out.
Yeah, which
it'll
means
get
your
better.
Merc solo then is rock bottom. Because they're still privateers, so you money shot them, and then life is good.
Good times.
Yeah, that
Money
Black
shot on
is-
those guys anyway is awesome.
Oh yeah, I always ran them like that.
Yeah. When I was playing Mercs, that was one of the things I tried to choose to play was the Devil Shadow with Rock Bottom and crew.
I can almost build my old Denny list with Nis and Iacos and them running around, but then I just ran out of points because then I have to take Black Ogre.
Otherwise, as your Merc solo, you could bring Wrong Eye and have a Dracodile.
It's true. I'm excited. I can actually
can
recreate
bring a
my
Dracodile.
That's pretty
my
cool.
Scaverous list because you take Crows and Wrong Eye as your Merc choices, and it works pretty well. You don't get any good Black Industries benefits from it because you only have 2 heavies, but you can take Wrong Eye, you can take Crows, you can take Death Jack. Everything's good.
Good times.
And fuck this.
It's Christmas. Suck it.
So we're coming up on the end of the month, so we should have almost all the theme lists out by then.
There's Insiders Monday and Wednesday.
I'm kind of interested to see what else they're going to do for Trolls and Signar.
Nothing.
Yeah, probably. But like,
Probably
if,
not because
if everyone's
Actually,
if everyone's supposed to get up,
treatment.
if everyone's supposed to get up to 6 themes.
Well, it's not everybody's supposed to get 6 themes. It's everybody's supposed to have everything covered.
Oh, I thought everything.
Yeah,
was
it's
supposed
not
to
number
Yeah.
of themes. It's that everybody will have
Okay.
every model in the game will be in a theme force.
Crix will have 6. Kador probably will have
They're not going to
6.
give 4 more theme forces to Convergence, for
Yeah,
example.
I figured like
Correct.
Grimkin and Convergence were going to be exempt from that sort of thing.
Ret will probably have 6, I think. At least
Probably.
5.
Yeah.
I mean, Red is I believe the second faction that's got the least amount of casters. I mean,
Yeah.
besides
Lady of the
third,
Dead.
third,
Yeah.
Yeah, behind the Elves.
Warcasters, that is.
Behind, there's one more ret caster than minion caster, I believe.
Is there? Even with combining them into one
Yeah.
thing?
Yeah,
There's 10
It's 10
minions.
minions.
because
and
Minions
11
was getting
11,
2 at
ret.
book for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah. But they'll be getting some more, though, too, because they've got Barnabas.
Barnabas.
Oh, no, that's Barnabas.
Yeah, Barnabas. You can't decide.
Barnabas 2. I didn't know there was a Barnabas 1.
There wasn't. He got married and legally changed his name.
So you could
so modern.
so you could legally play both of Barnabas 1 and Barnabas 2 in the same 120 point list.
If you're
Awesome.
playing, 100 list, yeah.
Yeah, there you go. It works. They're not the same caster.
Yep.
Then you can feat with Barnabas 2 on Barnabas 1 and get a corpse token.
I just want Rorsch 2 so much.
You're saying it wrong. That was the other way.
Whatever.
I just want Rorsch 2 so much.
But it's delicious.
Rorsch.
I'm kind of surprised though after they decided to go level 2 for all the lessers, and they just left all of the minion lessers to.
Not a real faction.
They're a real faction.
Not a real faction.
They're,
They're a real
they're only
faction.
not a real faction when Rick is
The only
around.
faction
a real
that they
faction.
officially said was not a real faction was mercenaries.
Yeah, and that was a decade ago. And 2 editions of the game ago.
Yeah.
Not a real faction.
They're a real faction.
That's fine.
They have tons of options.
That's fine. Then it's all the better to beat you with not a real faction.
Yep.
Oh snap!
God damn it, I want Rorsch 2!
But I am surprised though that they skipped over those because they could have easily built up a Dahlia 2 and then give us a whole bunch of those tassel worms.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Although that's more complicated.
I said they
Something like
probably
Rorsch
just
and
don't-
Wrong Eye, you just go, here you go.
They
Yeah,
probably just
there's-
don't know what to do with the attached beasts.
And honestly, I think Wrong Eye is one of the most characterful models they've got in the whole line.
I mean, honestly, that's the
Wrong
one.
Eye is the second most characterful
I
of the
said
minion
one
war
of the,
costs.
I said one of the best in the whole
Yeah,
line.
like Brun and Lug are kind of basically you could just turn Brun into a massive manhunter and
could.
just call it a day.
Yeah.
Dahlia and Scarith though, if they would want to expand into the tassel worm thing, just release another new caster, make Dahlia 2, and then we could have tassel worms.
yeah.
It's so awesome. They look so cool.
So they would either have to include their lesser again with
First
them.
one.
Their, huh?
Packers win.
Oh, good.
Oh.
They would either have to include, so Rorsch 2 would have to come with Brine 2, or Rorsch 2 would have to have rules that says may spend 10 War Beast points to bring Brine without, something convoluted like that, or just fuck it, for some reason the
Rorsch
epic
ate
doesn't
Brine.
have Brine. Like Brine's,
Is there
Or
is
you
there
could just
anything in the fluff preventing it from Gator players can complain they don't have a character beast like Wrong Eye 2. He's now a character
Yeah.
that can be taken by anyone. Like,
that's what I'm saying. Yeah, like there's
Just make Brine
and just
2
give it like an elite
I mean,
cadre.
didn't the
Yeah.
Protectorate eat Brine?
Well, no, I mean, you
Or
don't
was
even,
No, the Protectorate kidnapped Rorsch, and Brine murdered all the tents in the world because they were hurting its boss.
well, no, I mean, all you need to do is just have Brian 2 as a character war beast,
Right.
and since nobody plays out of theme anyway, you'll only show up with Rorsch 2.
Sure. Yeah.
Oh yeah, you just make it a
Yeah.
character
Correct.
beast that has a bond.
Yeah.
Specifically,
Either release
with-
them separate or either release them
Yeah.
together or release them separate like that with the bond, whichever.
Yep. That would be
Even if you didn't give me a Brine 2, just give me Rorsch 2 because he's the Kane of minions and it's so fun. Dude, Dynamite's not cumbersome, Jake. And with the ROF changes, his pig iron just shoots. He's got 3 initial ranged attacks a turn. It's baller. I fucking love Rorsch.
And goggles.
I miss Kane.
Bah.
I need to go back to Signar. Oh, Kane. Just walking around WITC, done 20 minutes before everyone else. It was great.
20?
What was your?
Oh wait, there was one time where I was literally just bored for like half an hour,
Yeah,
45
you meant
minutes.
you were
So-
done 20 minutes after your game started.
He said,
No, it was
that's-
usually like 7.
Yeah, I say, was that
Well,
the
then
turn-
that's not 20 minutes before everyone
So,
else. That's an
Jake-
hour and 50 minutes
Dick,
before
Dick,
him.
Dick, remind us what your record was.
2 and 2.
Okay.
But he was done
But
quickly
he was done
every
quickly.
time.
That's
Yeah.
true. And one of those was this phone's fault.
Yeah, that sucked.
What?
Jake has the first recorded instance I've ever heard of someone's war room actually irreversibly crashing.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
womp womp.
Yeah, that was not great.
Yeah, so,
Everything went down.
so Jake probably had the
iOS,
most
Uber
wins per
iOS.
minute spent on the table.
King.
So
I didn't lose a single
another
game.
reason to take cards, or at least just have them nearby.
Or use an Apple
Or
device.
use not an Apple device, a tablet.
tablet with War Room is actually
Never use an Apple device, fucking ever.
War Room still
Never
sucks
had
on a
War Room and
tablet.
had a crash.
I've never had War Room crash on
War
my
Room still
Android
sucks on a
devices.
tablet.
My phone also has been dropped a lot and looks like it's been hit by a baseball bat.
had issues of it opening up a PDF.
Well, everyone's had that.
Yeah,
Also,
that's true.
PDF viewer.
Yeah, I'm not even
The
going to
shitty
defend
PDF
that
viewer,
part.
that's
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, all you need to do is just download the PDF separate and then just use the search function on that PDF viewer.
$1,000 costing, no headphone jack, having goddamn piles of shit.
I mean, I will say War Room
It's
is
a cult.
annoying enough that it angered me enough that I wrote 30,000 lines of code.
Sure. You just wanted to be famous.
Just fame.
I do like War Room for list building. It
I
works
like War Room for playing the
Work-
game.
works well for
On a
list
tablet,
building.
it's fine.
because it's not an app that's easily available. Like if you had Conflict Chambers being an app that's easily available.
I hope
That
you're
he could
paying
be
him for this
sued.
one.
Yeah, it is, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That ended well for Wiccan.
Yeah.
He didn't get sued. He was just told to take it down.
Yeah, well, sure. Yeah, he was cease and desisted. You know what the step after that is?
Whatever. Well, I mean, the forward commander people just ignored that for 2 years, and then they just disappeared.
Yeah, they were disappeared.
Oh, I mean,
Privateer Press just gets your ass murdered.
Oh, that's what happens. So when people are let go from Privateer Press, that's their last mission. That's when they go out like in Mega City 1, when the judges retire, they go out for the long walk. They went out to find the forward commander people and killed them.
Sure.
That's what happened.
So the Angel Gang was running forward commander?
Yes.
Okay. That's headcanon now.
That's where Jackson was on his trip today to Colorado.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Well, but he's not in Colorado.
Oh, well,
Did you never go to Colorado, Dave?
yeah.
Well, that's
They're waiting.
well, no, Colorado is just where they say.
I mean,
you
in
went.
fairness,
Oh,
Jackson.
yeah, it's a cover story.
Plus, Jackson will just get distracted by the cheese curds, anyways.
That's just it.
By the way,
I
Through the
just
Desert
texted
app,
he's
or
on.
Through the Ages app, really good. Everybody should download it.
I can't. I'm told I'm not supposed to play it.
What is
I
Through the
told it
Ages?
wouldn't be your kind of game. Through the Ages is an amazing board game. It's a Vlaada Chvátil game, so you know it's a good game because Vlaada Chvátil is the greatest living game designer and possibly the greatest game designer of all time. Vlaada Chvátil.
Shemato.
He
Not
did.
incorporated.
He did Through the Ages. He did Mage Knight. He did Space Alert. He did
I think he did.
Code Names.
Okay.
He
That's the second time I put a Laverne and Shirley thing into the podcast.
third.
Is it third?
You didn't even notice the other one. That's how subtle it was.
Is my own? Yeah.
But
Wisconsin
the point is, Through the
culture.
Ages is really good. It's the second highest board game on Board Game Geek. It's fun, and it's $10 for Android or iOS. And you can friend me, and I'm really a fan, and we'll play together. Yay!
Okay.
What's
Yeah.
the highest on Board Game Geek right now?
Right now,
Is
I
it
don't
still
know.
Twilight Struggle?
No,
No,
I
that's
can
too bad.
check.
No, hipsters have to pick a new game every 3 months. I don't know. Are we just going to wait for Nate to?
You didn't have to.
Yeah, let's
Look up what Board Game Geek top 10 is.
Ooh, let's have some dead air.
I mean, I was hoping that the chat would just bail us out for us.
Come on,
No,
chat.
No,
Where you at?
nobody's listening to us anymore.
The
We're talking
current
about
the
Orange
current top 3 hotness is Seventh Continent, Pulsar 2849, and Gloomhaven. But that's like
That's
like
the
current
hotness.
hotness.
That's what I
Yeah,
know.
Gloomhaven's really good though. Nobody needs to bother playing RPGs anymore. Just play Gloomhaven.
Okay.
I mean, I don't play RPGs. I just buy the books and read them.
I have enough exposure to casual D&D that I'm not interested.
I mean, that's not casual D&D. That's just 2 hours of torture before everyone else shows up.
That's also canned adventures, and
I just
no,
it's not canned adventures.
No.
Unless there is a canned adventure where you go to a supermarket for an hour, that is not a canned adventure.
those are canned adventures on Wednesday.
No, that's adventures about buying cans.
Yeah.
There's a difference.
Yeah, the canned adventures are later on Wednesday.
yeah, you need to get
The
there
3 o'clock
about
guys
4:30ish for a real good time.
have an elaborate campaign that has economic,
Yeah.
yeah.
we go
warfare.
to food
No, there-
libraries.
Yes.
Yes, there was one. There was one day that I got there early because I was preparing models, and I decided that I could not suffer alone, so I had to narrate the experience to Jake.
Yeah, you
It's
texted
like-
me for like an hour while I was just at work. and
You
it's like,
buy supplies. You're like, we want a month's worth of food. And the GM goes, all right, that costs 12 coppers. And then you go kill a fucking dragon. You
Yes.
don't spend an hour and a half debating the economics of rice versus dried fish versus fresh fish in the goddamn town you're in.
Show up early some Wednesday.
Unless you're these guys.
Oh,
Yeah.
we know.
Yeah. This specific anecdote
yeah.
was with me there.
Yeah.
Seriously,
Yeah,
aren't,
me and-
those,
me
aren't
and-
those on Wednesdays? I thought that was like the official
That's
D&D
before.
night.
Yeah, I'd say
that's-
the 6 p.m. and the 8 p.m. ones are the official ones. The 4
4 p.m.
The
is
4
just
p.m.
the 3 p.m.
is
is
just
a bunch-
Pathfinder shit.
Yeah, it's a bunch of guys
Well,
who
it's not even
can't
Pathfinder.
It's
find.
the Space Finder now.
Yeah,
it's Grocery Finder.
It's a homebrew.
yeah.
Yes.
I
Really.
didn't know they were running Grubhub.
Yeah, that's what they're playing. They're playing Advanced Grubhub Second Edition.
What's my thaco to eat a ham sandwich?
All D's and D's.
All these?
All D and D's. Yes, all D's and D's.
But yeah,
Those
so-
that don't know, Aldi's is a foodry.
yeah. But
Deutschland again.
Yeah, but to put it in perspective, I have on occasion, well, actually, just about every week.
No,
threatened-
you do not do it every week. Occasionally,
just about every week, I threaten to make Jake have to join their group.
don't do that.
I have a character sheet
Oh.
printed out.
Hold on. So
Don't do that.
I don't want to really game shame, but that's what we're doing right now.
No.
So,
Kind of
No,
game shaming.
We're
No,
gamer
He's
shaming.
fine.
Yeah,
Those specific people.
those 5 people.
Okay, I agree with that. So
Like Pathfinder and D&D are great.
Also, one of them almost took out my foot with one of their damn screens once.
Yeah.
So
I've debated
on
just rolling the screens over there
Thursdays,
when I get there.
we have to deal with the magic guys down there.
So just bring a
And-
clothespin.
Oh no, not just not
That's
just
Yu-Gi-Oh.
for smell. No, but they're just about as bad as the D&D guys. Just with them talking, laughing about random things that I have no idea what they're talking about.
I mean, out of context,
painful.
we make no sense.
Remember that Yu-Gi-Oh was banned from Pegasus games when one of them shit in the corner.
I was not
Yeah.
aware of the story.
No, yeah, that's what happened. Somebody took a shit in the corner.
Of the bathroom.
Yeah, so I don't know if that makes it better or worse, because they were in the bathroom, the toilet's there, and they're like, no, I prefer the corner, and just shit on the floor. Previously, that same group of people had just left piles of wet clothing in the corner of the main game room. Like, they had stripped out of their clothing and just left it there.
Was it the same crew that also clogged the toilet that also destroyed pretty much most of the gaming
I'm
space?
sure,
there?
yes. I remember Steve talking about he was at, like, a game store convention thing where, like, they talk about the business of it, like an ACD Games Day, basically.
Sure.
And these people behind him were out complaining about the Yu-Gi-Oh people in their area, and Steve was just like, yeah, we just banned them from our store. And the people are like, oh, you can do that? It's like, yeah, just do that.
And they all went to Misty.
They shit on the floor.
Yeah, that's yeah.
Animals. Literally. And what, I think it was James was talking about this.
You know,
like,
I just need a clarifying question. Was this the adult Yu-Gi-Oh players or the child Yu-Gi-Oh players?
there are no adults that play Yu-Gi-Oh. There
No,
are just
there
children
is.
whose bodies are older.
There is adults.
No,
there
there are
is not a
children
guy
whose
who-
bodies are older. They are all 2-year-olds in human.
They shit in the corner, Andy.
They have chuds.
In fairness,
I just got done watching.
in fairness,
very
my
recently-
2-year-old doesn't shit in the corner.
very recently an episode of Judge Judy, which they had.
Why are you watching Judge Judy?
Judge Judy's amazing.
Judge Judy is the third best
Second
daytime
best.
judge.
Second best.
No, Mathis and Marilyn Million.
Marilyn Mignon is awesome, and then
Mathis.
Judge Judy, then Mathis. That's in the order I go. But anyway, Judge Judy had two litigants there, and one was suing the other one for stealing his Yu-Gi-Oh cards at an overnight party.
Because that's what children do, is they have sleepovers and steal each other's
I was,
Yu-Gi-Oh
hoping,
cards.
I was hoping the story involved shitting in the corner.
Yeah, I was really
I'm
waiting.
sure
I'm
that-
disappointed
I
now.
guarantee somebody shat in the corner at their sleepover.
Yeah, I was really waiting for you, and then they shat in the corner. Of
Yeah, I'm
Judge Judy's
disappointed. I'm
office.
disappointed with this anecdote now.
Yeah.
Sorry, but I just saw it on actual television. So
But yeah, no, the side note along the lines of children is like you look at Pokemon and Ash loses all the time and he's a good sport about it and he learns to try to become better and he congratulates his opponents and everyone's happy, whereas Yu-Gi-Oh is entirely about cheating and hurting people. And so that message gets across to their audience.
In the most recent season of Pokemon, there's literally a part where he talks about getting all the badges in Kanto, and then two of the other characters say to him, I'm pretty sure you got most of them out of sympathy, man.
But whatever. It's a good message for the kids.
Yeah.
As opposed to Yu-Gi-Oh, which teaches you to cheat and shit in the corner.
So participation trophies are better?
He doesn't get participation
Isn't-
trophies.
He, like, part of getting the badge is about... God, fuck it. I'm not going to reveal my childhood to you people.
I mean, Most of this
think-
podcast was
See,
out of
Gary
college
Oak has
before
all the
Pokemon.
badges. Gary Oak's a winner. Ash is a loser.
Yeah, but part of getting the badge is about treating your Pokemon well, and that's how Ash gets them. And it's why he doesn't win anything for real, because he's a fucking loser. Although he did win the Orange League.
Remember that
Season
episode
2,
where
baby.
James got breast implants to win a bikini contest?
Yep. That fucked up my childhood good.
Never showed it in America when you were a kid.
No, but we found it online.
Okay.
Let's see.
Because they're like, hey, there's this missing episode of Pokemon. Because it was that one and the Porygon one, which they never aired in America because they were worried about giving kids seizures.
Yeah.
And we watched both of them online.
Yeah, I like the air quotes around childhood Arctic Circle.
In my
The one
defense,
that-
I was 6.
So,
Like,
last week.
oh, fuck off.
The one that is childhood for me that left like a confusing impression was Flea in Chrono Trigger.
See, I don't know. I mean, I think as old people
What?
don't. Yeah,
Yeah,
I think as
it
old
was
peop-
indeed because it was Ozzy, Slash, and Flea. Whereas in Japan, Magus's 3 sidekicks were mayonnaise, soy sauce, and ketchup. I think soy sauce, mayonnaise. I think the third one was ketchup. But in America, it was Ozzy, Slash, and Flea. They're all named after rock stars.
Rock-tards?
Rock stars. There's something caught in my tooth. And the point is, Flea was a transgendered, and that was just weird to have in a kid's game.
Was he wearing 3 socks?
No, Flea only wore 1 sock, I'll have you know. The Red Hot Chili Peppers famously would perform wearing nothing but a sock, and Flea wore his on his head.
Okay, why are y'all looking at me?
Thought you'd like a story about Flea's penis being visible. Ironically, the original story is about Flea having a penis.
It all.
But it's just weird, like, as a kid, I didn't understand what's happening, because there's, like, the guy's sidekick and the girl's sidekick, and then it was just weird. Like, American children weren't ready for that. Like, in Japan, they're like, yeah, whatever. Dude looks like a lady. That's normal. We have anime. But I went from Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood to, chicks with dicks. It was a bizarre childhood jump.
Yeah.
The point is now I masturbate to transsexual porn.
Whatever makes you feel good.
Hollywood would. be
You
so
do you,
proud.
man.
Hollywood, oh my god, I have never permanently affected a human being as much as when I introduced Hollywood to Bailey J.
Oh, jeez. Yeah.
Like,
I haven't seen Hollywood in a while.
Well, that's because he went insane, and everybody unfriended him, and he left the War Machine community.
I remember
was this
seeing his
person?
posts once in a while, but I think
You're
he's
not
still-
missing anything, but Nate, tell the story.
Story.
He is a very
He was on a podcast. It was actually on one of our Crippled System podcasts.
We mentioned this.
It was
Yeah.
a Clusterfuckapalooza.
And I
for
bring it
War
up every
Machine
time I'm
Weekend.
on.
It was at a War Machine weekend where I showed him the which would you rather, because human sexuality is a very interesting thing, and there are 2 porn stars, Buck Angel and Bailey J, who are both very well known mainstream. Buck Angel looks like David, but has a vagina because Buck Angel was a biological female transsexual male. Bailey J looks like super hot model, but has a whatever number of inches wiener hanging down there because it's exactly the opposite. And so the question especially for men like Hollywood, who are your typical right-wing macho lift
Probably
weights,
does steroids.
probably does steroids, very.
He's an alpha bro?
Masculine.
He's an
Yes.
alpha bro. Alpha bro is a great way to put it. So you go to an alpha bro and you say, "Here are your choices. Which one of these do you go with?" And that usually just kind of breaks their brain, but Hollywood, like, the light between his eyes just lit up. He followed Bailey J on Twitter because he fell in love with her when I showed him that picture of Bailey J. He followed her on Twitter. He just and actively would tweet her all the time, like, "Yeah, whoa, doing great, Bailey." Like, became lead of her fan club. Like, I changed his life. It was astounding.
But then Nathan would be playing.
I was playing a game. It was the team game.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm doing there. And luckily, my partner was doing most of the work that one because I'm just doing whatever. And all of a sudden, a phone just lowers in front of me like this, and it was just he had put on hardcore Bailey J pornography and just lowered it in front of my face to distract me from the game.
Man, you're just changing lives all over the place.
Dude,
Hollywood was great before he went psycho.
correct. Well, I mean, because he. Yeah, it was the election that did him really in. First he started selling some kind of cosmetics or diet supplements or protein powder on Facebook.
Yeah.
And that's always annoying when you got a Facebook friend who's trying to sell shit. You're like, fuck off. And then the election happened. And of course, I don't know if it's just who I follow or whatever, but it seems to me that the majority of my War Machine friends on Facebook are liberal in general, because I think nerds tend to be in general.
I wonder how much of it's just being in Madison, though.
Yeah,
Well, Facebook, I said.
Oh,
Facebook
yeah.
friends. I
Yeah.
blatantly said Facebook friends. You know, but the majority of my Facebook friends seem to be more left-leaning, and so
Yeah.
he was in the minority, and he got kind of dogpiled. Because he was a very vocal, far right-wing, like, active Trump supporter.
Yeah.
And he got dogpiled, and then he
It
went...
spiraled from there.
He went kind of insane,
Yeah.
and
Okay.
now he's gone.
No. I mean, when I was active in gaming communities in Kentucky, it was a whole lot more conservative. I mean, I think a lot of it is just that we know a lot of people. We know a lot of people, not just in Madison, but in a lot of other large blue cities. And
Sure.
if you're gaming in redder spaces, it's a lot redder.
You tend to gather friends with people that you share the
Like-minded,
same
yeah.
beliefs or same
Yeah.
that you like.
Well, but I mean, that's the point. Is like all of my if you look at just the Facebook friends I have that I've caught through War Machine, it just for some reason seems to be more. I don't know.
There was like one time we were at the shop, and
Hi, Ben.
it looked like somebody was casing the place, and so simultaneously four of the people playing all yawned at the same time, lifting their arms up, showing the concealed carry weapon they had in their belt.
Nice.
Of course, this was also because we were pretty close to Fort Knox, and there's a ton of overlap between military guys and tabletop wargaming, and so we had a lot of people from that community there as well.
Maybe also it's because the Appalachians haven't figured out computers yet, so they're not on the Facebook.
No, we weren't really in that part of Kentucky.
They're just busy
I
making
mean-
buttermilk pies and.
Well, the other thing is too is like all of the gaming communities I've been in have not been very religious. Like I think I'm the only person who's like actively a religious person in any gaming group I've ever been a part of. I wonder how much that informs it too.
No, I think that atheists tend to be more vocal. There's a large number of very vocal atheist nerds.
Okay.
Yes.
I think that a higher percentage of people in nerdy communities are religious than you think. It's just the fedora wearing, and they're not actually fedoras, they're trilbies, but whatever. They think they're fedoras, so let them think they're fedoras. But the fedora wearing atheists feel proud to proselytize like a motherfucker.
And
Okay.
we just stay quiet.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. that makes
Yeah,
sense.
I mean it's whatever you decide that you're going to worship and do. I mean that's your thing.
Oh, yeah, I'm not trying to-
Well, not whatever you choose to worship.
What
Like, try not to be like Mola Ram level human sacrifice Kali worshipping.
yeah, that would sticking
I-
your
I
hands
frown
in
on
people's
that.
chest is another. Yeah,
I
that's
frown on
bad.
that.
I would frown upon that as well. Yeah.
I mean,
But if they're not
you-
vocal
you-
about it, then I don't
Sure.
know about it. So then I'm okay with it.
If you are a non-practicing Cthulhu cultist, it's okay. It's when you're actually participating in the ceremonies
And bringing
that,
up
yeah,
one of the old gods. Yeah.
If you're awakening elder gods, I
What if
we're gonna
you're
have
lapsed?
What if they go to the service but they don't
yeah,
take communion?
a lapsed Cthulhu cultist, I'm fine with.
What if it's an election?
Yeah, no, like once a year they go and none of it. It's like Christians going to Christmas service, right? Like they don't remember any of the duties, so they just have to look at the one really old lady who's always worshipped Cthulhu to see how to sacrifice people because they don't remember the.
And really, they're not
Ritual.
actually saying they're just kind of.
Those people screw up the logistics of stuff so much.
And
too.
it's just like the Hallelujah refrain where there's like mumble mumble fatagan fatagan mumble mumble mumble.
That is the best part of Christmas Mass, and people don't know the words, and all of a sudden they're like, Hallelujah! That's it.
Yeah. Yeah, twice a year, Easter and Christmas, just a whole bunch of confused white people trying to get in good with Yahweh.
Oh, that is the worst Mass because it's the longest, too. Like, that Mass triples in length because everyone has to go get communion. Oh, I just want to go home and watch football.
Yeah, God, stop inconveniencing
Yes,
Jake.
Jake the active Catholic.
Yeah.
I'm one of the few really religious people here. Fuck church.
Well, no, like, I'm one of the only people I know that, like, goes to Mass.
And hates every moment.
Don't hate every moment of it. I
You're
hate
Catholic. You hate
This is how
yourself.
this is
and
how
it.
Catholicism works.
Yeah, kind of.
The other great thing about, being Christian identifying, going to church like once every once in a while is if you accidentally go to like church with family and they do the Lord's Prayer differently. And you're never sure whether it's debtors or trespassers or sinners. You're like, who are we forgiving?
Yeah.
True story. That's why it's easier. Just be Jewish. Cut your dick off. Live on.
I don't think they cut their dicks off.
Is that not how it works?
No, it's not how that works.
Oh, okay.
Zappity?
Are we gonna do a Zappity Grumble? How do you feel about Catholicism?
No. No.
We wanted to be slightly less controversial.
Yeah.
So we're going to talk about politics and kneeling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, actually, my grandmother was in a group my mother identified as an anti-Catholic hate group. But that's part of the reason we left the South.
Whoa. Well then.
Well, the South hates Catholics.
Yeah.
The KKK
burns crosses in Catholic
Yeah,
families.
Like,
I
people
know.
forget that, but the KKK is like, we hate, minorities and Catholics.
Yeah.
I did go.
Because you don't count as Christian.
I did go to a Catholic mass when I was in the South for some reason. There was some godforsaken reason when I was there, and I just remember there was someone protesting outside saying that I wasn't allowed to be Catholic and be an American citizen because I actually worshipped the Pope, who was the Antichrist.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, if Pope Francis is the Antichrist, like,
Was it Francis at the time? It wasn't Pope Palpatine?
I actually, it was,
Yeah, Pope Palpatine. Holy shit, that guy.
it was JP too.
Oh, okay. JP2 was fine.
He was fine
He
at
was
best, but
okay.
he's caused me to lose quite a few games of Twilight Struggle.
JP
Fucking space the Pope if you're playing Russia.
Oh, no, do not waste space.
Space the
What
Pope!
is he, one in Poland? If you're Russia, just don't fuck with Poland.
It's that one, and then the card that tags with him after he's been played can collapse the entire Eastern Wing.
If you're bad, just plan for it. You have
know, but I
much
play-
bigger fish to fry. If you're wasting,
I play Middle East focused and Asia focused.
If you are a Soviet player and you're wasting your space on the Pope, thank you, because there are much more horrific things that you should be spacing, like fucking
Quagmire.
Quagmire, for example, or
You space that first. I'm just saying if it's an option.
the radio one, the fucking
The worst one is the one where it's shooting down the plane. That's a
the
possibility.
U2 incident.
Yes.
Yeah, U2 incident. Whatever.
So,
yeah,
Jake,
there's
do you have this for the electronic version?
Air America, not Air.
I have the electronic version. I just
do you
haven't
have for
been able
Europe?
to link it up
What do you
because I
have for
keep trying to
Europe?
play against Nate.
Okay.
But I just can't through Steam's thing. I just can't link it up.
It's one that lets the American player discard any amount of cards from his hand and then draw replacement cards, so he just gets to ditch all of his Soviet cards and redraw them. Yeah, that one's
real bad.
because then he just tries to dig to get the forced loss from doing like CIA.
Yeah.
Oh, look, it's technically your turn. Oh, why'd you launch that nuke? That was rude of you. I win.
Yeah.
Good times. Twilight Struggle is a good game, Andy.
Still angry for you.
Well,
I haven't played Twilight Struggle in forever
I know.
because everybody I know kind of stopped. My brother Adam and I kept playing, but it got to the point I kept beating him, and he said the joke was on me because it stopped taking points away from his ELO ranking because me beating him no longer count.
I think the last game I played was the one that Brian quit after he clicked on a card and something else dropped down instead.
Yeah, I've never seen that. So either he just got a weird bug or he just misunderstood something that was
I
happening.
mean, Brian might have just gotten a weird bug too. That happens.
It's
sometimes.
possible.
But it was a really weird way to end that game.
it seems like an odd game where you have to, in a sense, level up to play it. From my understanding of Twilight Struggle is it's not really that fun until you played it against each other for a long time.
What it
It
is
takes
is
a
that-
while to learn all the cards.
Yeah, card knowledge
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
important.
That's what I mean by
yeah,
leveling up.
As long as you both know the cards to an equal amount.
Mm-hmm.
Like early on, neither of you know the cards, and somebody will play like, "Oh, play a random card from your hand," and I drew the thing that makes me launch nukes and lose the game. Well, what the fuck? And then you learn, oh, okay, so never do that. And so once you both know and what's hilarious is that you'll learn longer and longer into it because it takes you a dozen games before you'll reach the third era, the late war, because you always lose in early or mid war before that.
Or
And
you
you're like,
accident-
oh, look at all these new cards.
Or you play the boycott the Olympics card, or play the Olympics card and they boycott on your turn.
That's why you always headline the Olympics.
Yeah.
If it's DEF CON 2 and you play the Olympics on your turn, you are an idiot.
Yeah,
Because
but
the
that's
card
sort
literally
of-
says, does your opponent want to win the game?
Yeah.
And they get to answer yes or no.
Yeah, but that's just like one of those cards where it's just like if you don't know the game
If you-
inside and out, that's one that can accidentally fuck you. You don't
New
realize it.
players will get caught by that interaction
Yeah.
where if your opponent causes nuclear war, but it's your turn, you lose.
Yes.
Because the rule sounds like it should be whoever causes nuclear war loses, but it isn't. It's whoever's turn it is when nuclear war is caused. So things like the Olympics will fuck you.
Yeah.
I'm not sure
good
if I
game.
could get into the game.
It's fine.
may be
It is
something I'd play.
like it feels really heavy because like the card knowledge and everything, but it's dicey too. Like doing the coup rolls and realignment rolls and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's a fairly random goofy.
I mean,
game,
like because
but-
you can like if
plus
you
one of the cards tells you to poke your opponent in the chest.
yeah. There is also
Kitchen debates.
yep. The Russian player will poke the...
No, it's American.
So
is it the
that
other one?
If the American player has more battleground countries than the Russian player, they poke him in the chest and score a point.
so Games Workshop stole that from them.
Maybe. Well,
Age
from
of
real
Sigmar?
life, that was
Yeah.
yeah. That's the only one in that one is the poke in the chest because
Alright.
the Russian one should have one where if you have more battleground territories, you pound your shoe on the table and score
Yeah.
a victory point. Is
Yeah,
what they
that's,
should
that's
have.
clearly missing.
Yeah.
Did you throw a shoe at somebody?
No,
No, that would be Middle East
yeah.
later.
That would be Labyrinth.
I love that animated gif of Bush just dodging them.
I like it when it's a
he had
Pokeball.
good reflexes.
The Pokeball version one's good.
He had real good reflexes on that
That's
one.
the weird thing is that it
points
looked
to
like
Bush.
he was used to this.
Well, he's just like...
Well, there's an old saying in Tennessee. I mean, I know it's a saying in Texas, but it might be one in Tennessee too, which says, "Throw a shoe at me once, shame on you. A fool me won't get fooled again."
I'm still because somebody has mentioned it, so I'm going to put him up here too.
There he is, right there. We did have a Zappity Grumble up higher.
Oh, we did?
Yeah, it was what B movie or lower would make a good sandbox game.
Not a B movie though. That's
So,
not a very good film.
If you played as a bee and flew around,
And then fucked a
Maybe.
woman.
yeah, and
There's-
just fucked a woman.
There is
That movie's about a woman fucking a bee.
that's true.
The hell? The logistics of that.
There's a game. I don't know what the name of the game is, unfortunately, but it's a cockroach versus man. And with the cockroach, all it has to do is just fly around the kitchen and eat food, while all the man has to do is try to kill the cockroach.
One of the older PC games that was a big hit was Bad Mojo, where you played as a cockroach. It was more of a puzzle thing. You had to figure out how to get across electrical wires without getting electrocuted and stuff like that. It was really cool.
What was the Zappity?
A B movie or lower level movie make a sandbox game. Like my answer, and I don't know if it qualifies as a B movie because it's such a beloved cult classic that maybe it's been elevated beyond that, and I think it's legitimately a good film, is Krull. I would love a Shadows of Mordor style sandbox game in the Krull universe.
I was going to say, what about
that's
what about
doable.
what about
Krull has such great stuff. You got the Cyclops, you got the Fire Mares, those goddamn Slayers, the aliens. Everything in that movie is amazing. Giant fucking spiders.
that's a
Nate,
game.
quick question for you.
You need to see Krull.
Okay.
Krull is legit.
It's about as good as Ice Pirates.
Sure. Krull. It's Liam
Ice Pirates, yeah.
Neeson's first film.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah, it's just young Liam Neeson, as a member of a group. You have a main guy, and he's got some thugs with him that each
Yeah.
get one line so that you care when they die. And one of them is Liam Neeson.
Neeson's.
Nieces
Liam
pieces.
Neeson's.
Take the
Reese's-
fucking elephant.
Reese's
The point is,
Pieces.
Krull is an amazing movie,
Snowpiercer's
and there's
not a
so
big
much
movie.
cool stuff in it. It should have been the next Lord of the Rings.
Okay.
It's Lord of the Rings with aliens instead of orcs.
I agree. I'm jumping off of that. Because
it
you
had a
you
ridiculously
had a reference
difficult
to it.
arcade game too.
Yeah. And a board game. There was actually a lot of tie-in shit with Krull.
You added to that. You referenced something else, and I would want a Rocksteady style Batman game with Darkman.
Sure, yeah.
We have Zardoz as a suggestion, and I think that is a fantastic one. So we can have a.
Would you just be
bouncing
one of the
stone.
cavemen just running around and
Well, I mean,
guns would be vomited out at you?
This is a sandbox game. So I mean, clearly at some point there's going to be a banana hammock editor.
The most amazing thing about Zardoz is most of us just know Zardoz by
That
reputation.
one picture of
the
Sean
picture, the
Connery.
reputation. 90% of people who know Zardoz have never seen Zardoz, and when you finally break down and watch Zardoz, it is an amazing moment when you find out where the title of the movie
Yeah.
comes from. That is a mind-blowing twist.
I didn't actually even realize it, right up until the moment. I felt really dumb.
It is well disguised. For a word we've seen a million times, you don't think about where it just seems like a gibberish word. And then
Yeah.
in the movie, when they reveal what that title means, you're like, holy shit!
Yeah. For me, Big Trouble in Little China, I think would be a really cool.
Are you Googling it, Dan?
No.
Okay.
I think Big Trouble in Little China would be a really cool kind of open world sandbox game.
Sure.
It's a lot of cool stuff to explore. They did a good job
Do
creating.
that at each other.
They do. They do a good job creating a universe and populating it with some interesting stuff without ever actually delving super deep into it. So it's pretty cool, and I love that movie.
No, I still think a properly done Rocksteady version of Darkman would be amazing.
I mean, we can pick more than one.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. That's your vote.
Yeah.
His vote was Big Trouble in Little China.
Everyone seemed to talk more than I did about it. So.
I would talk more. He's literally said nothing.
I know.
Well, he
But
said
you wanted to
something
make
there.
sure you said even more than he had said.
Yes.
Okay. Andy, can you talk now?
Dan can talk.
Okay.
Dan can always talk. Jake can't.
Okay. So, I'm struggling to think of a good B movie.
Oh my God! We
But
just went through the effort to give you a chance to talk.
So I'm going to go with Canadian Bacon because I think a sandbox game of a Canadian-American war would be hilarious.
Canadian bacon. I love when the elite troop guy stubs his toe and they just come back and shoot him in the head because they can't be slowed down for him.
I was so sad. I was looking this weekend and that's not available to stream anywhere.
Aw.
I
Ben
can't
Lang
even
says-
pay money to stream it.
Ben Lang says Dazed and Confused Bully style, but that would basically just be Bully.
Yeah, pretty
Yeah.
much.
Like, it's just Bully, but with weed. Nothing but trouble. The sandbox game. Oh, yeah.
Grand Theft Auto style.
Yeah.
So you try to escape from the cops?
Oh,
Or
my
from
Lord.
The sheriff. Oh, no. No.
Oh, God, I just want to watch Kroll now. Is that on Netflix? I'm going to check. Who am I kidding? I have it on Blu-ray.
I do not own Kroll. I haven't seen Kroll in a long time. Was Kroll the one that had the giant crabs in it, or am I thinking of Dark Crystal?
That's Dark Crystal.
Okay.
That's Dark Crystal. Kroll did have a giant spider in it.
Yeah.
Kroll's the spinny was the five
glaive.
prong
No,
spinning blade.
I know the
I mean,
glaive had the-
that's the big take home from Kroll.
Yeah.
Donk.
Weren't the villains, not the villains, but weren't all the henchmen have, like, they were just, like, bodies controlled by worms
No.
or something?
No.
Oh.
I don't know what that was. The henchmen and Kroll were badass-looking fucking alien monster stormtrooper-looking motherfuckers.
I really like the bad guys from
And they
the last-
screamed. That noise they make when they die.
That I remember that. So maybe that's what I'm thinking of the worms. But I love the bad guys in Last Starfighter as well. My favorite scene in that whole thing
look
is
at those
when,
guys.
is when the general pops up and he has his visor pop over and he goes like, "We die." All right. What do they look like?
I would just picture that's the Slayers in Kroll. It's just hilarious because you got like dudes with swords and stuff, and it's like straight up Lord of the Rings, wizards and archers and stuff, and then the bad guys have fucking laser rifles.
Laser rifles for life.
Yep.
There is no other Zappity Grumbles, so all we have is, unless somebody wants to say something in chat for Zappity
Yeah, come on,
Grumbles.
chat. Give us something.
Nope.
Come on.
God, now I desperately want a Kroll open world game.
I don't. The only way that that's going to happen, Nathan, is if a theater or a film company decides to remake it, and it will be horrible, and then we'll get some really, really bad version of it. We'll
then
never
somebody will-
get the '80s version of Crawl.
Well, no,
For-
they'll do
for
that,
the
and then
time-
somebody will release a third-party skin pack for the
The
80s
special
version.
effects on that Cyclops were really good too. Like that eye blinked and everything, and it's good animatronics because no CGI. That's all a live mask.
I believe that's all Stan Winston.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, Stan Winston.
I really miss that. Like whenever I've gone back and watched old films, or not old films, like films from the '80s or the '70s or even the early '90s before they like made everything CGI. Everything just it felt heavier. It felt more
Neeson.
real. Like I watch
Dead center.
He doesn't look angry.
Liam
enough
Neeson
or
right
old
there in the
enough.
back.
there he is.
Mr. Taken himself.
Mistaken.
Have you watched season 4 of?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Good old episode 6, 9, and 11.
I was actually surprised by the second to last episode.
What's great is rewatching season 4 of BoJack Horseman after watching the second to last episode of season 4 of BoJack,
Yeah.
because everything Beatrice says is mind blowing after you've seen episode 11.
Yeah, no, I've done that.
Yeah.
I was told by one of my friends to do that. I would not have thought to do it, but like the voice actress for her deserves so many awards. Like
That's
isn't
Wendy
it-
Malick.
Oh
Yeah. You say "oh" as if you know who Wendy Malick is, but yes.
Oh, I thought isn't she from Game of Thrones? I'm
No.
thinking someone else.
No.
Okay, not
No,
bad.
she's not. She was in Just Shoot Me, and she was the ex-wife of the main character on Dream On. Remember Dream On HBO? No?
Nope.
Yeah, that's right. You wouldn't. Most people don't remember Dream On.
So we do have a Zappity here. ESPN didn't work. What channel should the White House turn all the TVs on this week?
We're already on Fox News.
Yeah, for real.
I mean, we already know
Fox
this
Sports,
from-
Fox Sports Network. It's basically Fox News.
Well, no,
but
that's why we have all of this stuff today, is because they've been watching ESPN.
Yeah,
Right. I did like that Trump made his official announcement. All of you should blah blah blah, and then the NFL team owners en masse just stood up and said, "Fuck off." And it was just great seeing all of these official.
except for Jerry Jones, who's still an asshole.
Well, I mean, I understand the protest.
That's
I don't believe that it's right for a team to fire a player because of a protest. Yeah. But there are reasons why Colin Kaepernick isn't actually playing for a team.
Yeah, he's nowhere near as good as Mike Glennon.
Well, but I mean, there was a lot of hassle given to that. But I mean, he may not just be.
Blaine
good
Gabbert.
enough.
Blaine Gabbert, basically the best player who's ever lived. Has he thrown an interception yet this year? Yes.
Has he thrown an interception yet this minute?
No, but they did blow out the Ravens inexplicably. Oh yeah, Eli Manning has a job. Like, how did that happen?
He has two Super
Eli
Bowl-
Manning's a good quarterback.
He has two
He's
Super
not a
Bowl
good quarterback
MVPs.
anymore. He's not a good
Maybe not
quarterback. He has
anymore,
one.
but you got contracts and they last, and you keep
Correct.
these legacy people because they still have spurts of greatness in them.
Because I mean, even if you're not saying Colin Kaepernick's good enough to start, which is fine. I mean,
He
you can
should
make
have
it,
a job
You can make it.
someplace
You
as
should
a
at least
backup.
be a backup.
He
Like
should
you cannot
definitely
say
have a
he's not one of the
backup.
64 best quarterbacks on the planet right now.
He is definitely better than backup quarterbacks that are currently employed, and he is probably better than starting
Well,
quarterbacks that are employed right
The
now.
reason is I mean,
Trevor Siemian's
he's not
starting.
going to get a position as a backup quarterback because of the media attention. Because no front office is going to say, yes, we're going to bring in a backup quarterback that's going to get more media attention than our quarterback. That's it. I mean, this is fundamentally.
You kind of going into the whole what's his face?
Chris Clue.
No, not, well he had a lot of media attention as well for just being a punter. Dude, religious guy,
Tim
Kurt
Tebow.
Tim Tebow. Yes,
Who is also not as good as Colin Kaepernick.
Yeah, but I mean, Tebow. I mean,
he
Tebow
played baseball
was backup.
Yes,
was
he's in the
backup
Mets system.
level, but nobody was going to hire him as a backup because he would get more attention, more
Correct.
media attention than a lot of the quarterbacks.
Yeah.
And that just, I mean, no.
I
front
mean,
office
like
is
he
gonna be
was
okay
he
with
was a
it.
backup for the Jets, and he was a backup for New England for a while too. Like he just wasn't good. If he was good, he would have made a roster. Like there's so many terrible players who make a roster that don't deserve to, and the amount of attention that'd be given to Colin Kaepernick would be like, hey, he's kneeling, and for the rest of the game, they wouldn't care. Like there's something else going on. Like the only people who will care will be like right-wing media sites because they'll play it up to get traffic. Otherwise,
and that's
All of them.
Eli Manning has 2 Super Bowl MVPs.
you got. I thought what's his name won the other one.
No, he's got 2.
Tackly man with missing a couple
Michael
fingers.
Strawn.
No.
Strahan.
JPP. I thought he won one of them.
No.
Okay.
JTT?
JPP.
I loved him in Home
Jason
Improvement.
Yeah, I thought Crabman won the second one, but
Jonathan Taylor Thomas is a national treasure. Do not call him Crabman. Remember him in Saving Christmas?
no.
Okay.
I don't know who Jonathan Taylor Thomas is.
He was in Home Improvement.
That show
He was
ended when Jake
like
was
everybody
born.
was all crushing on him.
not-
He was the if you were a 14-year-old girl, you were all about JTT,
I wasn't.
weren't you though?
you were.
No.
You were. You
I was
had-
busy
you
watching
had-
Pokemon.
You had episodes. You had magazines of
Yeah,
TV.
Teen Beat.
I
Yeah,
can't believe Eli Manning won 2 MVPs. I thought for sure one of the defensive players.
it's almost
was
like he's a
one.
good quarterback.
He's
That's-
not a good quarterback.
How many
He
Super
is.
Bowl rings do you have?
Hey, how many Super Bowl rings does Aaron Rodgers have? Is he a better quarterback than Eli? Fucking Phil Simms has 2 Super Bowl rings.
Phil
And?
Simms does not have 2 Super Bowl MVPs, though.
I don't care.
Also, more than one quarterback can be good. I didn't say better than Rodgers. I said good. And you don't get 2 Super Bowls without at least being good.
Eli Manning is no longer a good quarterback.
When was his last Super Bowl?
David, I
think
think
about
about
that.
20
years ago.
As
I mean,
usual,
that's pretty recent.
It was pretty
2012.
recent.
Huh?
Oh, 12.
That's 5 years.
2012. Okay, 5 years ago is a little time.
He's in the top 3 Mannings.
It's like him, Archie, and Peyton.
You cracked the case.
He's tied with Cooper for last place.
DB Cooper? Bringing it back around.
That's a professional podcast.
DB Cooper, who enters the game via parachute every game. He just parachutes in and throws the football.
And then throws money everywhere.
Yeah.
I will say,
Spraying money over the audience on his way down, like the Joker.
I would watch.
I will
that.
say it's like my only positive takeaway from living in New York is that I'm a Giants fan, and
Is that positive?
No.
I mean, it's not the
okay,
Jets.
that's the most positive thing that came out of living in New York.
Only thing that's positive about the Giants is that Carl Butano-Anilowski is a fan of them, and I enjoy watching his things about.
And Big Fan was a good movie.
But I would be
Van Oswald
surprised if the way Eli has played last year and this year, I'd be surprised if he's still got the starting job next year. That he was good at one point.
Who's the Jets quarterback?
Who the fuck
Cares?
knows?
Because Colin Kaepernick could have that job. I don't know who it is, but whoever he is.
Well,
deserves
Okay, the
it.
question
Let me-
is, does Colin Kaepernick want that job?
Yeah, the thing is though too is like some of the players.
I wouldn't.
There's
Unemployment's got benefits.
there was rumors going around last week that the Bengals wanted to replace Andy Dalton as a the team players wanted to replace Andy Dalton
Andy
as a
Dalton?
quarterback.
I thought it was Timothy Dalton this whole time.
No.
Oh, he would have been so suave getting crushed.
But and then watch what happened at the Packer game today. Suddenly he got like 2 touchdowns like in the first quarter.
Yeah, one of them was to AJ Green, getting me 6 fantasy points.
See, here's the thing, though. He only threw 2 of the 3 Bengals touchdown passes.
Oh yeah, true.
Like Rodgers has thrown
50%.
Rodgers has only thrown 1 fewer Bengal touchdown pass this season than Dalton has.
That's true.
And before this game, they'd thrown the same number.
Correct.
The season to date, Rodgers has only 1 fewer Bengal touchdown pass.
That's almost
He's
a
their
Favre
second best
statistic.
quarterback right now.
Yeah, he's the second best Bengals quarterback right now. Oh my God! Remember when? Oh fucking A! They did a
Would Jay Cutler retired?
yeah. What they did? Yeah, they did a expose about like the top Packers quarterbacks of all time, and Cutler was like number 3.
Yeah. When he retired, I remember Green Bay Packers Twitter
He didn't retire.
he did retire. He unretired to play for the Dolphins.
Yeah.
But when he retired, he announced his retirement. Green Bay Packers Twitter posted just I think it was like almost a 8-minute long video of him throwing interceptions to the Packers. It was like way too long for like what was about
Wrong.
6-second
It was
clips.
just the right length.
Yeah. I feel, and this might be controversial, but not as a Packer fan, I feel that he got the bad end of the stick for
Jay Cutler?
for Chicago.
I mean,
he
yeah,
had
'cause
no
now we
fucking
might actually-
offensive line for him whatsoever. He was running for his life all the goddamn time.
That is true. It's not his fault that he was a terrible quarterback.
He was fine. He's actually a
He's
really
decent,
quarterback. He
But when
just
all
had
you have is Urlacher,
Right.
you'll-
Urlacher or
his stats,
Mike
like
Forte?
his stats are worse than they should be. Is my point, and that's not his
Correct.
fault.
It's not his fault at all. No, he did really good in Denver.
I really was hoping he'd play for the Jets at some point in his career because his combination of like utter indifference and the New York media would have really come together for something special. It would have been great.
That just
I mean, it
reminds
worked
me
out
of
well for Favre.
the most amazing game of football I ever saw, which was the Titans versus the Patriots several years ago in the middle of a snowstorm. And at one point, the Titans had 2 quarterbacks, Kerry Collins and Vince Young, who for about 3 minutes in the game both had more ints than yards.
Good job, Detroit.
All right, we should be calling this quits here.
I say, thank you for joining.
Recommendations.
Yep.
All right,
Fucking
announcements.
announcements should have been an hour and a half ago. Fuck announcements. Stuff's happening.
Sign up
There's
for
your
the
announcement.
ATC. Done.
Yeah, sign up for the ATC.
Sign up for Who's the Boss when I get the thing set up.
Yeah, do that also.
Just got notification of how much it's going to cost.
Sign up to buy my ret.
Shut up.
Shut up, Jake.
Send me mail on Conflict Chamber and I'll set up your tournament.
Yep.
Do we actually do we have to send you a mail at this point?
I don't have
like
the
physical mail.
Yeah,
Like a stripogram.
yeah, do that.
Candygram?
Yeah. No land sharks though.
That's too old for Jake. He's not going to get that. Candygram.
Oh, this is a land shark reference.
A tie-in to a previous conversation we've had on many previous episodes, and it's come up many times because I feel very strongly about it. Final Fantasy IX this week was released on the PlayStation 4 in a high-def remastered edition. You can buy it. It's on sale for $16. Okay, you should do that.
That's a fun voice.
It's really good. It was my Movies with Mikey voice. Anyway, So it's normally $20. It's on sale for the next couple days for $16. So if you're watching live, or if Andy puts this up tomorrow, you might be able to get that sale. Andy specifically, and people in general, have many times say, good game, but PS1 era RPGs with the slow loads and the whatnot. Well, good news for you. It has a button you press to make it go in super fast forward speed. So that protestation goes out the window. You can play the game in quick mode and enjoy the plot and the gameplay mechanics and the fact that it's the best Final Fantasy game and arguably the best PS1 era RPG that ever existed.
It's not Final Fantasy Tactics. I will die on that hill.
I don't count tactics games as RPGs.
Okay.
I think they're too much more deep just about the strategy. It's like XCOM is not an RPG.
Yeah, I can respect that.
Yeah. So as far as yes.
Final Fantasy VIII.
And
Nope. You'll note that they released Final Fantasy VII HD Remix on the PlayStation 4, and then, of course, they released Final Fantasy IX.
Yeah.
They skipped 8 because 8 sucks balls and nobody cares about 8. And I say that as someone who loves 8.
I don't care about 8 either, but I do enjoy trolling.
do not love 8. I skipped it when I collected it as well.
Final Fantasy IX is available on the PlayStation 4. It is a goddamn masterpiece. It was overlooked when it came out because the PlayStation 2 had actually already come out, and then they released it for the PS1, and so people didn't care anymore. But it is fucking amazing. The characters are amazing. Vivi is amazing. The gameplay mechanics are amazing. The everything's amazing.
And Ben Lang agrees with you.
Ben Lang agrees with me, and Ben Lang is a man of high intelligence and good taste. And you have a fucking fast forward button, Andy. You have a fast forward button.
I have no excuse now.
Yes.
None. Ben Lang's got weird cats though too. Have you been over at Ben Lang?
And a wife who turns down free Nuglaris beer.
That's true as well. But have you been over by Ben's?
Yeah, I've stayed at his house before.
Yeah.
We did it
Oh
together.
yeah, we did that together. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah. His cats.
They got goofy squished faces. David likes
don't.
Stop that.
David likes smacking his microphone, but he's the Brian of today.
Yeah, stop that. No, but his cats are adorable, but they have very smushed in faces.
Yeah, they ran into a door or something and it stuck.
Just full blown.
That's my recommendation. Final Fantasy IX. Okay, buy it. I bought it on the car ride home.
My recommendation is you should go out and watch Kingsman 2, The Golden Circle.
Okay.
That movie is amazing. What the hell? Hopefully that went through on whatever. If you answered it and just, somebody heard what the hell on the other side. No, Kingsman 2, very good. It's a little bit overboard of action, kind of similar to the first one, which had a little bit overboard of action. This one has, I'm not going to give away a full plot of it, but it has Elton John in it. And it is the best part I have ever seen in a movie. Elton John is amazing, and he's a national treasure, and I love him.
England being the nation that he's the treasure of. Okay.
He's still a treasure.
So is he
He's a
better than the Queen?
Well, I mean, one would argue that both of them are queens.
Yeah.
I mean,
But the and A, although he deserves to be the capital Q. Him and what's it?
Well, when she
Dame
died-
Edna,
when
Dame
she
Edna
died-
from Australia. Is that the character?
I don't know. Don't know what you're talking about.
The pink hair, the freaking. So Bruce the shark from Finding Nemo is voiced by an Australian actor who is most well known for a woman character that he plays, and I think
Okay.
that character's name is Dame Edna.
Okay. But I would say that when the queen dies, that Elton John should be the new queen. Just flat out.
Better than Charles.
Definitely better than Charles.
Yeah, that's Bruce the shark from Finding Nemo in his most
Nice.
famous role.
We should, You go watch Kingsman. It's very good. I enjoyed it. It's very entertaining.
I'm going to say go watch Neo Yokio. It's amazing and terrible.
Oh.
Bad recommendation.
It's not a bad recommendation.
And you skipped
it.
it.
It is a great recommendation.
You're gonna make me edit the podcast again.
What, to delete the Neo Yokio reference?
Correct.
Oh yes, I will recommend actually pulling out board games you've had for almost a year and never gotten around to playing.
What board games are you just recommending? Pull out board games you haven't played in a year?
Yes, I'm recommending actually playing board games that you bought and haven't played yet.
Yeah, like for example, if you buy
Weren't we supposed to play Mega Civilization?
if you buy Three Kingdoms Redux or Redo, depending if you pronounce the X's, you should play that. Although people will be like, no, I don't feel like playing, and then they'll go out and play different games instead. And try not to take that personally. It's not that they don't like you; it's that they specifically don't like you.
I didn't play it because you introduced it as a work replacement.
No, you're
game.
fine.
Yeah.
Somebody else is like TaylorMade would love this game, and they were like, nah, and then they went and watched War Machine instead.
I played War Machine.
Eventually,
I beat Jake twice.
Wait,
played
well,
War
who
Machine
hasn't
twice.
beaten Jake twice?
no, actually,
John
I know
Damaris.
I know the better part of the story, and I'm not going to mention it because it'll out the person. But I know I know somebody there who had that conversation too.
I know many people. Like there are many people I invited to play that game. I've never tried harder to get a third player. Brian and I were going to play that thing, and I invited like 20 people. And
Well, I know that Jeremy just decided that he was just going to go play Destiny instead.
no, but when I mentioned he had already he played Destiny with JR, and I'm like, hey, you want to play?
okay.
He's like, I'm booked. I'm going to play Destiny with JR.
Oh.
In fact, Jeremy offered to cancel his JR Destiny to play the board game,
Oh.
but that was just out of pity because of what happened.
Sure.
And I'm like, I don't need your pity board game. Just play Destiny with JR instead.
If it wasn't a worker replacement game, I would probably be up for it.
It's Three Kingdoms China. Who doesn't love Three Kingdoms
I
China?
love Three Kingdoms China.
All I did was call dibs on Shu, and I assume Brian would want to be Wei, which means you could be Wu. No.
But now my wife and I pulled out Zombicide Rue Morgue, which we had had since last Christmas and not gotten a chance to play. And it was cool. So I recommend playing games that you have and haven't gotten around to doing.
I got Comet.
Yeah, you do.
I do.
Oh, I'll buy my own copy
I also
eventually.
have Dead of Winter as well. I would like to play eventually, but nobody wants to play it with me.
All right, Dan.
All right.
Recommend stuff.
Ken Burns has a new documentary out, Vietnam War. It's amazing. I
What?
liked it
A
so
Ken
much.
Burns documentary is good? Why, I never.
It was so good. I'm now a PBS subscriber, so I could watch the last 5 episodes last week instead of having to wait until this week. But it was really good. The music's amazing. It's 9 Inch Nails did the score for it, as well as they have a lot of period music, and it fits really well. It's very well done. It's 18 hours long. It's really good. It's hard to watch at times, but watch it.
Do they play Fortunate Son?
Yes.
Of
They
course
play-
they do, because it's legally obligated to have Fortunate Son in any film that takes place during the Vietnam
about
War.
Ohio?
Anti-protest.
Yes.
I was gonna-
That is the end of episode 8.
Buffalo Springfield.
Twice.
Cool.
It's like the Vietnam protest song is the
Yeah.
the flag bearer of
I'd
the
say,
Vietnam War.
yeah,
His
if you-
Fortunate Son.
If you think about music from that era, it's probably in there. There are 75 period songs, plus a whole bunch of original stuff that 9 Inch Nails did, plus a bunch of stuff, Vietnamese music. One of the coolest parts about it is they actually went over to Vietnam and filmed for a while too, so they have their normal Ken Burns style interviews with a bunch of people from the NVA Army and Viet Cong Army too. And every so often they have 2 people who are actually shooting at each other, talking about the same battle from different sides.
I do like when the documentaries interview the people who are on the other side from us as an American audience. One of my favorite things I've ever seen was on the History Channel for, I think it was the 60th anniversary of D-Day, where they interviewed some of the German soldiers who were at Normandy, and it was just interesting to see it from their point of view. Like the one guy who was in a pillbox with a machine gun, and we think of those as this faceless monster that the heroes throw a grenade into. Just talk about how he looked out on the water, saw infinite boats, and he and his friend turned to each other and they said goodbye because they knew they were going to die. Because that many people you can't fight, they were going to die. And it's like you don't think about the Wehrmacht as being these scared children like we think about our drafted men. I'm sure it's the same thing with the Vietnamese army. Literally children.
I'll say the trippiest thing was watching a North Vietnamese guy complain about the pointlessness of their draft system.
Yeah.
Where can you watch this at?
It is on pbs.org.
Okay.
I think so. Episodes 1 through 5 were free last week. I now donate to PBS, so now I got access to the other 5. I think the next 5 go up tonight. They should be live now, actually, because it's after 7.
So it's like 5 each episode is about an hour long then? Or approx?
4 of them were an hour and a half. The other 6 are 2 hours.
Jeez. Okay.
Ken Burns documentaries are real in
Yeah,
depth.
it's 18 hours long. I got through all of it once already, and I'm probably going to watch it again this coming week.
Yet you didn't have time.
That was one of the reasons I didn't have time. You are not as important as Ken Burns.
Fair. I'd blow me off for Ken Burns too. Blow me off, Jake.
Okay, just checking.
I said off.
Yes, he did.
I can't blow me. I've tried.
Just remove a rib.
It hurts. It physically hurts. I could not.
Blowing me?
No.
Nobody's complained.
All right, Zappity. Are we done? Yeah, I think this is it.
I can't top
Did
that.
anybody have any other recommendations?
Mother, Nick says Mother is worth catching if you want to see an Aronofsky movie that feels like a Danny Boyle movie.
That does not feel like
and
a
that's
Danny
a
Boyle movie.
weird sentence.
It feels like the weirdest version of a... God, I can't remember his name.
Aronofsky?
I'm blanking. I defend him all the time.
David Lynch?
David Lynch film. There we go.
No, Aronofsky is like if David Lynch didn't suck.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, that reminds me. My wife has a message for you. She's still angry at you for Dune.
It's not my... You asked to borrow it.
I did. I also forgot to bring it.
That's fine. You can. It's just watch it again with her. Maybe she'll like it better the
was
second
good.
time. Lynch is so fucking terrible. Watching Dune, it's just like I wobble back and forth between hatred and love. And
From you guys describing what happens after the first Dune book, David Lynch seems like the perfect director to
What
do
happens
rest
after
of
the
it.
first Dune book is a lot of acid.
yeah, so he could direct
probably-
God Emperor of Dune just fine, but Dune needed more just like a more straight face thing.
Yeah.
So fucking read Dune, you
I'm
son
gonna
of a
get around
bitch.
to it. Do you know how much shit you guys? You know how much shit specifically you and Marshall and Rentworth have given me to just.
And you've done
consume?
none of it.
I can't do all
Marshall's
of it.
not going to follow up on it. So
Marshall will follow up on it constantly.
You can't say I can't do all of it when you've done none of it. You're making no progress. If I give you 100 tasks and you do 10 of them, that's one thing. But if you do 0, that you can't say, well, there's too many of them. If I gave you 1, could you do the 1? Well, then if I give you 100, you should have been able to do the 1 still, because obviously you could have done the 1.
Okay, fine. I'll read.
Sadly,
Dune.
that's biblical. That is exactly a
Why is that
parable.
sad?
Because it's Nate, and he took an entire parable.
Hey,
and
that's
applied it
fine. Proverbs 18:6, man. The Bible's got some good stuff
Yeah.
in it.
Why
What do you mean, yeah? Like, you know what Proverbs 18:6 is.
I'm just saying. Yeah, the Bible's got some good stuff
to-
in
He
it.
doesn't know what that one is.
I don't know what that one is.
That's
I'm a
the
terrible
one, that's the
Catholic.
one about
Cold
waiting for the elected
316
leader
says I just
to
whipped
vacate
your
the
ass.
office.
Proverbs 18:6 is when a fool opens his mouth, he's asking for a beating.
So David was right.
This
It's
is the
about
word
an
of our
elected
Lord.
leader.
Stone Cold 316 says I just whipped your ass.
Stone Cold 316 is Proverbs 18:6. He didn't need to make up a new entry because Proverbs 18:6 was literally what he was saying.
I love how that whole thing came about too.
The best was when I was a kid, I had a version of the Bible that had at the top, it had like little stick figure drawings of like what was happening, kind of like a Station of the Cross, really simple, but for the whole thing. Like they just show Mary and Joseph at the manger and stuff like that. And for some in the Proverbs and Psalms, that's the one. You know, they couldn't do all of them because there's 100 of them on the page. So they'd have like 5 or 6 at the top. And for some reason, I guess because maybe there is a loving God, one of the ones they chose for that page was Proverbs 18:6. So my Bible as a child had 2 stick figures. Like one literally had a dude in a full Nelson while another one was punching him. It was like the Bible's the best. They're wailing on this guy. Good times.
All right.
Good night, everyone.
All right, good night.
Nope, that was not-